You guys ready?
Yes.
Yep. Good evening, everyone. The highlights of the news: traffic accident. A Beaver County man being held for murder. More later.
What's going on, y'all? You're tuning in to the highest rated, most listened to podcast to ever grace the airwaves, and you're a better person for listening to us. All right, maybe not, but you're really going to enjoy it anyways. This is Made to Motivate Podcast, and we'll be talking social media hot topics, pop culture news, the greatest in movies and music, and all things sports. Make sure you're following us on social media at Made to Motivate Podcast on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and you can watch the show on our YouTube. Thanks for tuning in, and with that being said, let's get this show started. God fucking damn it. I was trying to say the previous intro and I couldn't remember how it went.
Oh, scared me.
Who the fuck calls this house on a Tuesday night? Fuck. That's it. What's going on, guys?
What's up?
This is Made to Motivate Podcast, and it's season 3, episode 11. Your host, Ryan Weiss. And we have a special guest with us today.
The room got heavier.
Jesse Young from Sports Illustrated.
I'm back, baby.
Heyo.
What's going on?
Jesse's back. He was on precautionary leave, trying to be a responsible adult.
Yep.
What's going on, sir? Anything new and exciting?
Yeah.
Well, we'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah, I was going to say,
What's
let's
up,
go
Chris?
around. Fuck
Chris,
you.
the film freak Kessinger is here.
What's up, sir?
How's it going, sir?
Oh, pretty good.
Good. Yeah, so we're 3 Amigos are back.
Yeah.
Jesse's been out for a while, I feel like.
It's like 2 or 3 weeks.
And
Yeah.
we'll never, ever, 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 ever,
Oh.
ever.
He's debuting his shelving setup today.
Way too many Jordans on this shelf, not
I
enough
know.
LeBrons.
I've got a lot of LeBrons, but I mean, I just like Jordans. I got some new stuff over on Chris's I added, and then mine. Anyways,
Coming from my Bateman.
hey, I know. What's new and exciting, Jesse, over the last month?
Man, a lot of stuff has happened. First and foremost, the reason that I was taking precautionary leave was so that Steph and I's IVF process was not ruined. We got that done, and we did the egg retrieval and all that other stuff. Now we're kind of in limbo, waiting until, a certain amount of weeks happen before we can start actually getting pregnant.
Yeah.
But it went really, really well. Most people get like 9 to 12 eggs. We got 17.
Dang.
So we've got 12 like viable eggs frozen, ready to be used at any time already.
Keep Baby Yoda away from those.
Were you
Yeah.
bragging about that? Because it's technically, your
Jesse thinks that he did something special. He donated the eggs,
Dude.
apparently.
No, it's
I
a
think
fucking.
Jess gets the Steph gets the congratulations on this. It's not Jesse.
It is. It's a fucking process, man. She's been a major trooper. She gets 4 shots in the stomach every single day for it. One of which burns like acid every day, and another one
burns
that
in her
leaves-
stomach like
oh,
acid.
yeah.
Ooh.
And then another one, which is her blood thinner, leaves huge, bruises and welts and stuff. So she's been awesome through this whole thing.
Yeah.
So that's great and exciting. And we've got a couple of weeks before we have to take another precautionary leave for a week or two. But
So what's this process like? So she's got eggs. What does that mean now?
so I had to go jerk it in a cup.
Right.
They're basically syringing that
What were you thinking
into
of?
the egg.
Who?
You guys.
Who were you thinking of?
That's true.
Um,
I don't know. I meant what I said. What were you thinking?
but so
Baker Mayfield.
they basically knocked her out, stuck a giant needle into her, sucked out all the eggs and everything.
Jesus.
They're going to inject them all with my sperm in a lab. And then they let them sit, I guess, in like a petri dish or something for like 5 days. And I guess that helps them survive longer once they actually do like the, placing it into her. But after 5 days, however many make it from there, which should be most of them, you might lose 1 or 2.
Yeah.
They get cryo frozen, and then we just put in however many we want. So we're going to start with 1 because we don't want to risk twins.
He's
But
just going to
then,
say he's going to have 8 kids.
So you do that when?
if everything goes according to plan, that will be, I believe, in the 1st or 2nd week of January, and we would be looking at a due date of October 28th next year.
Let's push that back a couple of days. to
Dude,
get to
I know.
Halloween.
Yeah.
Okay, so you could be like pregnant in January.
Yeah.
Happy New Year.
Yeah.
Cool.
Other than
Wild.
that, we started our Gardens for Urban Jungles today. Got all the
Whoa.
stuff, started building it. We've got like our framing done. Tomorrow we'll keep working on that and
Dope.
getting all that stuff put together. So we should be done with that this week, building it at least. And we're trying to partner with like a local place downtown. I cannot remember what it's called because I'm not the person that's heading that part up, but it's a little store that grows all of their own food.
Oh,
And
That's crazy. They'd have that in Barberton.
can't can't believe it. No, but they I guess they do like a bunch of local farmers and stuff. So we're trying to get involved with them to see how we could market it ourselves and have them come in and kind of like help us
yeah.
grow it and stuff like that. And then other than that, I got a PS5 and that was fucking dope too.
Shake your right leg, your left leg.
You told me that it was fine.
I was until now. It's like freaking earthquake over here. It's like a 7.0 magnitude.
Dude, I can't help it. My legs shake.
The world is splitting in half
I
right
got
now.
the restless legs, man.
Shakira.
Yeah.
Shakira. But yeah, that's basically the
PS5.
gist of it. I've been playing games, trying to get pregnant, and doing work.
Guy stuff. Chris,
We'll talk more about that PlayStation experience later.
Hell yeah, we
what's
will.
new and exciting with you, Mr.
Well,
Film Guy?
for the first time in our friendship, I got to go to a movie with,
Is that the first time we've been to a movie?
yes, with
Wow.
my buddy Ryan. And
Yeah.
we saw Freaky. We were in a theater with 2 other guys.
2 thumbs up. I liked it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. It's a lot of fun.
Dude, it was good.
What were we talking about? We were going in there, like, yeah, just how empty it was and everything, like the parking
Dude.
lot, like 10 cars.
We pulled into the theater and it was legit me, Chris, and like 3 cars.
Which theater did you guys go to?
Tinseltown.
Tinseltown. It was worse than when you and I went to go see The Thing.
Yeah.
Like,
Bro, it was bad.
Yeah.
I was like, holy shit.
It's all shutting down, man.
This was like one of the worst I've seen though, because I've gone to movies since COVID
yeah.
and like never to this extent.
Well, Tinseltown's never that
And
deserted.
that's a big parking lot.
Yeah.
Bro, it was so sad.
So just that, and like my Christmas shopping's in full swing. I'm about 90% done,
Yeah.
but I started the mom portion of it, which is always where I spend the bulk of my cash.
Yeah.
And Jesus God, did I go overboard this year?
She's getting the hookup.
Well, I got her. She won't be watching this, so I don't have to worry about it. But I got her. She wanted a front door and a side door, security doors put onto the house.
Okay.
So I got those done. And when you start something like that, God, it goes down a long road. Like, certain things don't come with it, like the handles, which I have to put on myself.
Yep.
The chain, it doesn't come with it. So yeah, it's a pain in the ass.
Jeez.
I've probably in the last 24 hours I've spent in the neighborhood between that gift and a couple others around $1,600.
Whew.
Dang, son.
Hopefully
That's
my
cool.
mom doesn't listen to this show.
Right. Sorry, Bethany. You're getting a granddaughter or grandson.
Yeah, that's a better gift than anything you could buy.
That's true.
Yeah, Freaky was dope though.
Yeah.
We talked about it, I think, last week because you reviewed it.
Yeah.
But bro, have you seen it yet?
Not yet.
You got to get out and see it. I'm going into it thinking like comedy.
Mhm.
I know you said it was kind of not comedy, but like I think of what's his
Vince
name?
Vaughn,
Vince Vaughn, and I think more comedy.
Average Joe's.
Bro, that shit opens up. Spoiler alerts, like the kills in this movie.
Right off
Like, I
the
won't
bat.
spoil it for you, but
Yeah.
like the kills, holy shit.
Yeah.
It is not a joke.
I thought it looked good.
It has
Dope.
what I think is the best introduction scene of any movie this year.
I was a big I would compare that introduction scene to like Scream.
Yeah.
Like a very good just opening up.
There's
Oh,
a lot of
shit.
similarities there.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Scream's a great opening scene.
This is a good
yeah.
opening scene, man. I was like, it set the tone for the movie.
Would you buy it?
I would. Yeah, I would own it.
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoyed it. Chris, you gave it a 7?
7. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd give it a 7, 8.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit more lenient. I thoroughly enjoyed it though.
Mhm.
Really fun, just horror Halloween movie. So
And you had, what was it? I had my big ass icy, and you had a what?
I always get a Mr. Pibb.
Yeah.
What's not as good as Chipotle's, but it was good.
That's what. Yeah, we were curious about that.
Mr. Pibb and Twizzlers, I think, is what I got. No popcorn.
It was so like sad just going up the stairs and there's nobody there.
Dude, so
There's
because
2 guys.
we were in the XD theater,
Yeah.
my reminiscence of that theater is every time I walk in, you walk into an entire theater, man.
Right
and you're
around the
just
corner.
row after row, just filled with people.
Right.
Mhm.
Empty until like 2 rows before us. It was like 2 other people. It
Yeah.
was wild. So, but yeah, we went and saw Freaky. What was that? Thursday? Friday? Thursday? Yeah, we went Thursday, I think.
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Yeah.
Did I do anything else? I've been editing episodes of the show. So if you guys aren't already subscribed to the YouTube or go like it, because I'm trying to get caught up from all the past episodes. I just finished the Spotlight Custom episode. So if you want to watch it, go back and listen to it or watch it. It's on the YouTube. So I've been trying to knock those out. I got some new stuff for the show, some new tech gear stuff for us. So starting next week, we'll have a little bit newer setup or kind of style. So that will be kind of cool.
Always evolving this show.
Always got to evolve. Like, share, subscribe, tell your friends, get us some listens. I want to get to 10,000. Like we need to get to 10,000 and like 100,000. Like I want to be Joe Rogan. I need like Sony to sponsor me so I get a free PlayStation.
Then we'll be moving to Austin.
Dude, sign me up. We all going to Austin?
If you guys would like a PlayStation, they run for $5,000. I have one. That's for all my listeners.
Dude. Okay. Well, we want to get started on the show. We're going to have a special guest joining us here in a little while, but we're going to hop into Hollywood Report, kind of kick the show off, and then we'll be inviting somebody on to join us via Zoom from the West Coast.
My God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm. What's the procedure, everyone? What's the procedure? Stay calm! Wait. Everybody calm down! Two team, assemble!
Hollywood Report.
This is where we cut to Chris, and it's just Chris.
That's right.
How's it going, sir? What do we got? What's up?
Well, we got a couple of stories. First of all, I had the pleasure of checking out an HBO Go feature this weekend, I should say. And I think you did too. The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air reunion special.
It was good.
Have you seen this yet, Jesse?
No.
Were you a Fresh Prince fan at all? Yeah.
He's a little young.
I saw it, but I didn't love it. Like watch it all the time.
Was probably, man, it's so good.
Watch the reunion. And what's interesting about this is I usually don't like many reunion specials because I feel like they're just unnecessary, wholly like they're just to capitalize on people's nostalgia of something. This one had a little bit more for me. Both in the way it's presented. I felt like, you know, distinguishing back and forth between the cast actually sitting there now, seeing them, you know, the way they are today and how they've aged and matured with one another, to flashbacks of the show itself. HBO Go now owns the rights to that and every NBC sitcom that's pretty much ever happened.
Damn.
So yeah, it was interesting. What did you think of it, Ryan?
I loved it. To your point, the like aging and seeing how everybody's grown.
Yeah.
God damn, we're old. Like you're looking at all these characters fucking like
you're old.
When the little kid came on.
Oh yeah, Nikki.
And he's full grown ass man now. I was like, good Lord. It was dope. The nostalgia was super legit. I love the background, the behind the scenes stuff. I never realized the like studio audience thing.
Yeah, that
like,
they recorded.
I never realized it was, you know, they have the applause. I always thought that was kind of like a gimmick they like add in.
Yeah.
Most shows.
And watching it and showing how they interact with the crowd and stuff before the show. And how it talks about how they broke that wall, the fourth wall and stuff. I was a big fan. Obviously, Will led the show. I mean, it was mainly his thing, and he kind of brought everyone together. But I recommend watching it if you were a Fresh Prince fan, even if you didn't like love it, like Jesse. It was still really cool just to see. Highly recommend. I liked it.
The biggest thing for me was, and I'm not going to spoil it, but there's a confrontation in the show, and I'm sure fans of the show will know who I'm talking about. A certain kind of misplaced cast member from midway through the 4th season. And it happens. And I love the way that one person in particular addresses it. And you can tell how much they've matured since this event happened.
Absolutely.
I think that shows tremendous growth by this person. And just the confrontation itself, it doesn't seem like it's skimmed over. It doesn't seem like it's edited. It seems like it's unfiltered right there before you. Because there's moments where I was feeling a little like
awkward.
tense. I'm like, like the way she's talking to him, and I'm like, oh, this is not going to go well.
And see, we were young when this came out. I don't remember that. Like I don't remember that whole like writing off and like starting over thing. So that was really eye-opening to see.
Well, and it happens in a lot of like 90s sitcoms. Like you'll see certain characters get replaced. Like the one that comes to mind is Morgan Matthews from Boy Meets World was 2 different girls. But that one happened.
Shit, I didn't even realize that.
But that one happened more. The first girl, the younger girl, was she just wanted out of Hollywood. It was a mutual split.
Not a confrontation thing like
this one was a full on get out. We're not having you anymore.
It's awkward.
So yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was great. And I think it was 72 minutes. I never thought it, you know, overstayed its welcome or anything like that. I thought it was done perfectly well for a reunion special.
They did a nice tribute to Uncle Phil.
Yeah.
Which was
Oh
cool.
God, yeah.
I can't believe it's been 7 years.
Yeah,
I don't know
since
it's been that long.
Past James Avery. Well,
Yeah.
for those that don't know, too, he was the voice of Shredder in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles
Yeah.
cartoon.
What?
Yeah. So that's pretty badass too. I always thought James Avery was a legend.
He is a badass dude.
But yeah, that was all. I just wanted to touch on that.
Yep, check it out. HBO Go.
Yeah,
it's worth it. I mean, borrow a friend's login if you don't have it.
And now they're getting Wonder Woman.
Yeah, this is true. Maybe sign up so you can get Wonder Woman also.
Which will be the final nail in the theater's coffin.
I will be in theater to see that.
I will be
You
too.
should be in theater to see that too.
Yeah.
Yep. Support your theaters.
Don't cheap out.
Second discussion piece I wanted to talk about was we meant to do this last week, but we didn't have our young Jesse Unk here.
Yeah, our young Jesse.
Yeah.
I am
Give him
younger
too
than you
much
guys.
credit.
Yeah. Yep. I think I'm the oldie here.
Anyhow,
But PlayStation 5 hit stores, hit the general public.
Yes.
I can tell by his smile that Jesse's going to have a lot to say. We're going to turn the mic over to him.
All right. Whew, man. All right. So first off,
schoolboy.
the journey to get a PlayStation 5
Yeah.
was a long and treacherous road.
Oh.
Fucking 11 o'clock.
Oh yeah.
I get up.
Yeah.
I get on at like 10 o'clock the night before because I'm like, maybe there's a glitch and you can get in early or something. So I'm just refreshing. Boom, boom, boom. Refresh. Goes up on midnight.
What site are you on?
Every single one.
You're just like on them all.
Yeah. So the first night at midnight, I believe it was only on PlayStation Direct.
Okay.
I think. I can't remember. It's all a blur, but I either had all of them opened or it was just PlayStation Direct at that point. But midnight comes, I go, boom, boom, boom. I get onto it, throw it in the cart, go to hit it, just keeps on loading.
Yeah.
Nobody got it. Everybody got it into their cart and it overflowed and whatever. So I stay up trying to get it until 2 o'clock in the morning as they refill the stock on the websites and everything. I'm jumping just from page to page to page. I'm following this guy named Wario64 on Twitter who's got the inside like scoop. He's releasing all the information like 20 seconds early, which is enough to get over there in time.
Yeah.
And like 3 times at Best Buy, I had it in the cart and actually hit checkout and it was gone. 2 times at Walmart, I got it into my cart and couldn't do anything.
Jeez.
That sucks.
Never got through
Walmart
on
was apparently
Target.
having a ton of issues with their website.
Yeah, never got through on Target. GameStop's was stupid because they were only selling it in the bundle, which was $850, and I was not doing it because it wasn't games that I wanted,
Yeah.
and I didn't need the extra controller.
Costco was selling a bundle with like a TV.
Yeah. Meyer was supposed to get them, but they didn't have any at our Meyers in the area.
Yeah.
So I'm just like searching everywhere. Nothing goes up on Amazon. PlayStation Direct has like a queue line.
Yeah.
So we're going, I stay off work the next day. I called off, get up immediately in the morning.
I was wondering why you were off.
Yeah, 6 o'clock in the morning.
Dude.
I had to get my CCW renewed that day too.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, fuck it. It's PlayStation Day also. I'm just not going to go. So I get up 6 o'clock, try to get it. Doesn't work. Go to get my CCW. I come home and I just sit on the computer for
Yeah.
12 hours.
It's like me trying to get shoes, man.
Yeah. So I'm sitting there and I'm doing it. And my buddy, Tom, Mr. Liver,
Yeah.
Mr. Ruckman.
he is the first one to get it for us. He was in the queue line on PlayStation Plus. I had clicked out of it
Yeah.
trying to get Walmart to load quicker.
Yeah.
So I lost my place in line.
Oh.
Even though it was already like out of stock, he just left it open. And as
Yeah.
soon as stock went in, he just hit refresh and bought it instantly.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you have people
So-
trying to buy it for you?
So now I'm telling him, he tells me that. So I leave it open.
Yeah.
I try to get it. It's not working. I
Yeah.
missed out on PlayStation Direct again. And as I'm waiting for Walmart, because it goes live, they were doing like the 12, 3, 6, 9 o'clock thing.
Right.
So it's like 6 o'clock and I'm waiting and it's starting to load. And I get a tweet notification from Wario64 that says Amazon just went live. So I click over real quick. I click, boom, check out. Don't even check the price or anything. Like it's going, I'm gone. And it goes through. And I text Richard after that because he's the only one left that doesn't have one. We were the last ones.
Mhm.
And I'm like, dude, you got to get to Amazon. Sold out in the 20 seconds it took for me
You
to send them
lucked
that.
out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
bro.
So I'm freaking the fuck out because I've already got the headset bought
Yeah.
at this point because I was able to get my hands on it, which
Yeah.
the headset is incredible. It plays all your PlayStation 4 games,
Yeah.
disc and digital.
That's cool. I hate when a new system will come out and it's not compatible.
Yeah, there's been a couple of issues that have been like universal that I've seen. So like I tried to hook up my external hard drive from my PS4
Mhm.
and it caused an error. Luckily, I just started playing the games or I would have been pissed. But basically what happened was it can't support the files for PS5 games on an external drive. So you can't plug it in. You're only supposed to be able to play PS4 games from it. So I didn't download any PS5 games to it, but for some reason the system thought that I did. So even though the game was already on my console, when I plugged in my external hard drive, it then thought that the PS5 game was on the extended hard drive. So it would tell me you can't play games from this hard drive. So I took the hard drive out, and then it would say, this game is on your hard drive. Please plug it in order to play the game. So I had to delete the games and re-download them. But luckily, like it used to take 8 hours to download a new game onto your PS4.
Worst.
The biggest game that I had took about an hour and a half.
Oh, wow.
Most of them took about 20 minutes.
Yeah, the game download's the worst.
They're
I hate that.
It's incredibly fast.
What are some of the games that you got for the new system?
I got Spider-Man Miles Morales, which I already beat.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm hearing it's a phenomenal game.
It's really good, but it's way shorter. It's about 8 hours on the story. I haven't done all the side quests and everything, but I've done the main story.
Okay.
I got Assassin's Creed Valhalla, which I have not played yet.
Dan got that.
I got Call of Duty Cold War, which is a lot of fun. It's not as good as Warzone, I don't think.
Why do you say that?
It's just, I don't know if it's because Activision does that branch of games, and I've never really been a big Black Ops person, and it's the same. There's just something different. I don't see people as well. I mean, I'm just as good, but it's just not as fun for some reason. I really don't know. I don't know if it's just the color scheme or
the presentation seems more stunted,
or slightly like mechanics are just slightly different to the point where it's enough that I notice something's different, but I can't put my finger on it.
Yeah.
But I've been playing a lot more Warzone just on my PS4 disc on the PS5 because your PS4 games run at a higher frame rate and stuff on the PS5.
That was my next question too. Yeah, I was going to say, so like in that transfer, they look better, obviously.
They look better. They feel like they play better. I also got a new TV, so it could be the TV because now I've got the 4K TV and all that. Yeah, man, I dropped everything on this.
Yeah.
But the one issue that I have, because I haven't had any of those universal problems except for the external hard drive. Some people's stuff is like crashing from that.
I've seen people's stuff like melting down. Like
I think a lot of that is
issues.
fake. Wow. Like I think a lot of stuff's really blown out of proportion. Because there's always issues with new systems.
Right.
But like some people were saying, like they plugged it in and they have a paperweight now, and there's nothing that can be done. They just have to send out a new one.
Yeah, it's warranted. Thankfully,
So
but that's crazy.
But the one issue that I found is whenever you get a PS4 disc and you put it into the game like something you had before, it's supposed to be that you can either upgrade it for free or it's like a $10 charge to get the PS5 version. So you get the updated graphics, any features that might be on the new system, whatever. And for whatever reason, mine does not do that. I don't have like an upgrade button anywhere. And I searched around. I'm like, maybe I'm just an idiot and don't know where to find it.
It's got to be a software issue.
It's not in the store. It's not on the drop-down menu. I need to call like their actual helpline because I tweeted at them. They tweeted me back and they sent me to the thing that I've already read.
Yeah.
That's strange because that's a common button. Like that seems like an easy to find feature.
And that's a software. Does your system need an update? Do you have like any system updates?
All updated. Everything's on there.
That's weird.
I'm assuming it's something stupid. Like I'll probably have to restart my thing, factory restart it or something, which I won't do because I only have like 2 games that I really want to play from the PS4 anyways.
Yeah.
But yeah, like every game I'm going to buy going forward is going to be PS5, so it doesn't really matter that much. But that's the only real issue that I've seen. Everything else has just been incredible, though. It's
Did you
so
keep
much
your
fun.
PlayStation 4 hooked up?
Yeah, it's all
so you
up
can
there.
just play on that whenever you want to.
Yep.
Yeah, you don't got to transfer everything.
Well worth the price.
Oh hell yeah.
Yeah.
Like
$500
the most impressive thing I think to me outside of those download speeds, because that really is impressive, the controller is incredible.
Yeah.
It's slightly bigger, so it fits in your hands better. It has that feel of like an Xbox controller, because that's the one thing I've always said Xbox does better.
I agree. Yeah.
Very comfortable, but the thing that's amazing is the adaptive triggers and just like the capabilities of like the motion and stuff are way better than they used to be. But the adaptive triggers are just like mind blowing.
Yeah.
Like I have played in games where like Astro's Playroom is a game that comes with it for free. And it's like a kid's game. It's a cute little robot that you run around and you just go through like a world created out of PlayStation parts, basically.
Oh, okay.
But it shows off everything that your system can do as like a capability thing. So at one
It's like
point,
a commercial demo is what it sounds like.
exactly, but it's a little bit bigger than that. But yeah, it's fun. The adaptive triggers, on the PS4, any other console, you just pull the trigger and it's very simple. In this, I went around, I'm hitting people and it feels normal. I'm like, this doesn't feel any different, like whatever. I got a bow and arrow and I go to pull back this bow and arrow, and I kid you not, the trigger is
like tense.
it's difficult to pull though.
Yeah.
Like when I heard that it was going to be tense, I was like, oh, there's going to be some pressure.
Yeah.
Like my finger was sore after the level.
It's cool.
It is difficult to pull. It's really cool. Like there are sometimes when I'm playing Cold War, if I have like a single shot, like a pistol or like a semi-automatic rifle or something, it is like a
gun trigger.
It's like a gun trigger.
That's
like you literally have to pull it instead of
just like tapping the button.
Right. It's like you have to squeeze the trigger instead of just like crack.
That's dope though.
There's no more crack. Like it's however fast you can shoot a gun, that's what you're shooting in Warzone.
So that's a good problem to have.
Pretty legit.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. So it lived up then, at least. I know, especially anytime you have a new console, whether it be Xbox or PlayStation, hype is always, it can either be your biggest friend or your greatest enemy.
Yeah.
But it sounds like that it paid off well. And
yeah,
I know I saw a bunch of them going on Facebook Marketplace, whether they were legit or not, but I saw them go anywhere from 500 to I think $1,000.
Richard, him and his wife were both working to get one at the same time, and he just bought two because he was like, I'm just going to either give her one to play or we'll sell it.
Yeah.
And she didn't want it, so he sold it for $850.
Yeah. That was one of the things people were complaining about with it mostly being an online only is like the robots, the people using bots and stuff to buy them and to resell.
Yeah.
And that's what I run into like with shoe purchasing, like, because I'll go to most of the shoes I buy are all hype shoes. So it's like raffles, first entry wins, or you get into a lotto and then you have to hope that they choose you. Yeah. And everyone uses bots. And then they just, all the people do is just use them to resell. Yep. And Walmart apparently had a ton of issues with bots and like the site crashing. And then people buying like 10, 15 of these systems.
And honestly, like probably the business likes it just because, I mean, they're making purchases regardless. So is there anything that they would ever try to do to fix that problem?
I don't
make
even
it
know
more accessible to the common man.
I don't know what you do. Like, cause I mean, that's been a shoe, like as far as shoes goes, that's been a complaint forever. Anybody that's into shoes like me or like a Dan who buy them because we want them not to resell, you're screwed. I mean, you can't beat out these people that have hundreds of bots just trying to buy shoes for them. Yeah. With the video games, this is a unique situation because of COVID. Normally the stores are stocked. Did any stores have in person?
Not a single store had in person.
Yeah. So it's kind of a unique situation. I hope that's not like a going forward thing. And it's just because of the COVID situation, not crowding the store. So they just went to online only.
That was their official statement.
Yeah. It was just because of COVID. So
I honestly think though that I don't think they're going to do anything to fix it because this has the same exact feeling as the very first Nintendo Wii when nobody could find one for 3 months and everybody wanted one. And that was the number one selling system for like 2 years because of that limited availability. Yeah. So just like
even the Switch was like that.
The amount
Switch
of people that
find.
The amount of people that I know that are just desperate to have one of these things, they're going to get one as soon as they are capable of getting it.
Because word of mouth only enhances your interest to want to have that product. You have to have it.
It's like a luxury item now. Like it's a status thing. Like people are pissed at me because I have one, and every time like I told my students, they're like, why were you off work? Mr. Woods said that you got a PS5. I was like, I did. They're like, what? Like they don't know anybody that has one.
Party at Unc's house.
Dude, I was watching this guy on TikTok the other day, and he freaking has like 2 of every system because he's got like a living room and a game room, and he was doing a video of it, and it is so dope. Like his game room is like a wall-to-wall shelving unit with all the systems in it. Yeah. And then he's got 2 giant like 70-inch TVs right next to each other.
God.
And then like you go down the hallway into his living room and he's got another like 80-inch and then like a duplicate of every system. Yeah. I'm like, bro, you just have to walk 10 feet. You really need 2 of them?
Married?
Right.
I honestly don't know. Who knows? But I'm like, it's a legit setup. And because he had posted a picture. He bought a brand new giant TV. And he had 2 PS5s and 2 Xbox Ones right next to each other. I'm like, God damn, bro.
That's the life.
We can't even get one. I just want an Xbox.
I know. Can't find them. And that's why I kind of say, I'm like, is there ever a time where they would just go limit 1 per customer? But I understand it's profits. You can't really do that.
Well, they did limit 1 per customer this time.
But how does Tom get 2 then?
He's got a wife.
Well, so she was on a separate account, but then
like Jesse and Steph could each get one.
I got you.
But it was 1 per customer. Based on the site though, if I was capable, I could have gotten one on Best Buy and Target and GameStop and PS Plus. Like when they did the queue line, PlayStation really did it the best. PlayStation Direct, because you went into a queue, nobody could cut you. And then they just one by one. And if you ran out, sucks for you.
Yeah.
But if you didn't, you were capable to, like, once you got into the store, you had 10 minutes to make your purchase, and it would hold one for you while you were in the store to make sure that you could get it.
And it's like a line, like, right. Like, so if you get there first, obviously your numbers
just
go
like,
up.
yeah, it's just like waiting outside of the store.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
It's like I could get on all of my phones, my iPad and my computer all on a different site and just be trying to buy them.
Yep.
Wow.
You know, so
Well, it sounds like those wars definitely aren't going anywhere anytime soon. And, you know, we'll have to see how Xbox retaliates for sure.
I mean, they sold out too. They sold out. They released a day before or after PS5 did.
Yeah.
And I mean, they're gone. You can't buy them.
No, you can't find them either.
It's just crazy to me because like video games have such a rich history of popularity, like over decades and decades of, you know, but it seems like it's hotter now than it ever was, you know,
with COVID. Well, you got to think though, these systems haven't, I mean, the last Xbox was 7 or 8 years ago, probably same thing for PlayStation
4.
7
years ago. Yeah.
Do you think that's why they sporadically, they just release it because, you know, that way, I don't know, whether it be saving up over time or that it doesn't wear out its welcome.
It doesn't have the, like it doesn't have the hype. I don't think of like a new phone, like an iPhone. People are like me. I'm buying one every year.
Yeah.
I'm not going to buy a new Xbox or PlayStation every single year. It's not necessary, you know, so they can stagger the year releases. They get the new technology going. They really upgrade. They build out new games for them.
Yeah.
And then they'll do the releases. A yearly thing isn't going to, there's just not enough that's going to change that quickly.
But you have to have this new system because they've done a job marketing.
Absolutely.
All these games that have been marketed, none of them are out yet.
Yeah.
But you see these beautiful, realistic things now. And you know, like Grand Theft Auto 6, when that finally comes out, it'll probably be 3 years from now still, before 5. But everybody needs that.
Yep.
And if I know the PlayStation's going to get that a month early, I'm getting a PlayStation. Like I know Uncharted's going to come out. I know God of War is going to have a sequel.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm anticipating those games, but I need the system to get it.
And I kind of wonder if it's a credit to your argument too, when you said like they don't make as many, like even if it's just for a certain time, like if you don't make as many in the first year, we'll say of your release, that makes it more of a desperation. You have to have it. Like, you know, you have to be one of the lucky few, right?
Supply and demand.
And that price is not going to drop.
Yeah.
For 2 years, it's going to be $500, maybe longer. I mean, you still can find, what's a PlayStation 4 go for right now? It's still $250.
Dude, they're selling them like I still saw PlayStation 4s going for 500 for like the 2 terabyte or whatever.
Right.
Like,
what was the original 400 when it came out?
Yeah.
It was 400. Yeah.
And they're not making a ton on those systems. That's why the price doesn't drop drastically, because their margin on those is not very high.
Oh, yeah. I believe that the PS5, they're making, it was $12 or $17 on each system.
Yeah.
Wow. So they're banking on the fact that they're going to sell 120 million of them over 7 years.
You have to make a lot of them then.
And then you're going to make, you know, $12 on 120 million things. So the thing with the PS4 though is when you look at that system was so advanced in and of itself, because there's not a huge graphical update just from what I've seen on these games, which they're starter games. They'll definitely be better whenever you start getting into those games that get released later in the year. And
you're saying for 5?
For 5.
Yeah, okay.
The graphics are incredible, but like, when you get to those games that are made for PS4 and PS5, they just don't have that.
There's not enough change.
Yeah, there's going to be incredible change going forward, but it's just like, it's just crazy what these machines can do now. Like it's some of these things that I've seen are just like, that's a fucking photo. Like that is a video. There's no way that this is made on a computer somewhere.
Oh,
that's why to me,
my mind.
A dream project for me, I always kind of wished, even if it's just for like one time only, like Zelda could get signed over for like PlayStation or Xbox and just see it on there. Oh God.
I have a buddy that went to school at Full Sail University in Florida, and he went for video game design and animation and stuff. And then he went and worked for a company in Louisiana, and they actually won like an Oscar or a Grammy or something for one of the things that he like headed off.
Oh, cool.
And like watching, he would post like behind the scenes of them like building these out.
Yeah.
And that's why it's 6 years in between, because they build out games just for these new system releases.
Yeah.
And it takes forever,
Yeah,
man.
sure.
Like you got to think the amount of time that goes into building a video game, like in to the extent of the graphics they are now and how they look. I don't have the patience, man. I can't imagine like what it takes to make these games frame by frame and each individual character. And they have to decide for every pose that they do and every outfit. And it's mind blowing.
Yeah. Like on the last Spider-Man game, whenever you're swinging around and everything, if you're going really, really fast, one of two things was going to happen. You're either going to hit a quick glitch, and then as it loads, or like a building that's usually detailed will not render. It'll be blurry. Playing Miles Morales, though, I went up on top of like the Empire State Building or something like that, and you just look out, and for miles, everything is crystal clear definition. I'm diving off of buildings. It's never once buffered. It's never once lost. Like its crispness. It's incredible.
And I think that's why like those glitches kind of offer those moments of like disdain for, you know, what you're playing or what, huh? Okay. Oh, sorry.
Sorry. It's Brian's fault.
But yeah, I just wanted to go into that and kind of give, you know, our audience a preview at it. So Jess Young gives it the thumbs up though.
Quick question for you guys before we transition, because I know we're running out of time, but Spider-Man, super progressive game, by the way. No spoilers for the game, but there are like multiple things in it. Like there's a Black Lives Matter mural on one of the walls spray painted.
I heard Bozeman Street.
Bozeman Street is on there.
Yeah.
The characters wear masks on the street for like the pandemic. There's
wow, that's
like
so crazy.
I believe that there was a trans person in it. It might have I know there was a lesbian couple, but I believe there was a trans person as well.
Wow.
A lot of stuff like that. What do you guys think about that? I've seen a lot of people who are like, they need to keep, same thing as sports. They need to keep that out of the video game world. That's not the place for it, blah, blah, blah.
Well, here's the thing. Like, so video games are a form of art, and like anything in art, like it matures, it expands just like our real world does. So like if they're reflecting our real world, those kind of things have to be in there. You know, I think as long as it's not like, to me, you can walk a line where it's like that kind of thing feels like it's, I don't want to say forced, but like,
so that's what I was going to say, because it's very much like, I get what you're saying about
is it
reflecting
obvious?
the world. Oh yeah. It's not like it's naturally there. It's like, we're going to this little block party. Hey, there's my lesbian friend. Hey, there's that trans person. Hey, here's that deaf person that spray paints. Let me sign to them.
Okay, now I have a problem.
And
with
it's like kind of force fed a little bit. Like there's not that many people of diverse areas within one area that I've ever seen. Like, I don't know a trans person in real life.
You probably do.
Maybe. Okay. So yeah, I don't know one that's comfortably out at the block party standing next to my lesbian friends and the deaf graffiti artist.
Yeah,
like,
I know too. And it's not like I see them all the time. So yeah,
I didn't have a problem with it, but I did think it was funny because I was like, you guys are definitely pushing your agenda here.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. To me, like that's my only issue with it. But I mean, it does reflect the world that we live in. So I don't really have a problem with them being in the game. But if it's taking up obvious minutes of the game and you're going like, well, what purpose does this serve in the plot or anything like this?
Yeah.
Not so much.
Yeah. I get Miles as a multi-racial Black Spider-Man and all that, but I feel like that's like a huge step in and of itself from where we've come as a society. So
yeah, for sure. Totally. Yeah, so that's the thumbs up for PlayStation. Two more things I want to talk about real quickly. First of all, Regal Cinemas, the chain operator Cineworld Group has found a lifeline by securing a new debt facility of $450 million and the issue of equity warrants. The company has agreed bank covenant waivers until June 2022 and has extended the maturity of it $111 million incremental revolving credit from May of 2020.
So they got $450 million.
Yes. So what this allows them to do, basically, upon reading this article from Variety, is that they're going to be saved pretty much from everything that's going on right now. So it helps
until 2022.
Right. Okay. So it helps that they've shut down in this time, in this unpredictable time. Like Cineworld has shut down Regal Cinemas.
Right.
They're not like Cinemark where they're staying all open and all that. So they're allowing themselves not to lose money necessarily, just not gaining any money on the same instance. What this loan does, or what this maturity does, is, it leaves it open to where when we finally do open, it allows them kind of a safety net that even if that audience isn't there for the first few months or whatever, no sweat. Like, we have enough funds to cover it. It's no big deal. We're just hoping that, eventually within a year in that crowd will be back. And if we keep going with things like Wonder Woman on HBO Go, that's going to make it even more difficult. Guys, do you have thoughts on this? I know you guys are probably more of the Cinemark crowd. But as far as Regal Cinemas go, you want to see it saved, right?
I want to see all theaters saved. Mm-hmm. I don't go to Regal. I like the Cinemark experience better. Mm-hmm. I mean, Tinseltown is just unbeatable in comparison to just amenities and stuff.
Fair enough.
but I don't want to see the cinema world in general go under. Regal's a part of that. I think their success is going to help success of other theaters in general, just keeping that going, and
Competition.
for more studios to be able to put their movies out and fight for space and everything. I don't know, man. I don't see a good fate for movies in the next couple of years. I hope to see them continue. Like I said in the beginning, like I'll be at Wonder Woman in theater. Like I will continue to go to see those big name movies in theater as long as they allow them to be out.
I think you have to, and that's why I think there always should be an avenue for that. You know.
Yeah, Regal's my first love. That was my first job. It was my.
I
first
saw this week. I saw that
cinema
anniversary.
Yeah, anniversary of me ending my career at Regal was this week.
Met Judd Apatow. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that was dope. But yeah, I hope that they come back. I would love for Regal to be the best cinema. I mean, Cinemark is a better product overall. That's the only reason why I go to them. I wish that Regal was better because I love Regal and I would love to support them. Yeah. But I don't think that this is going to work out for their favor, though. I think that they're not going to be able to make that money back in that short of amount of time, and it's going to end up, killing them in the end. It's just prolonging their death, which is terrible, and I hate that. But it just is what it is. They've never been run very well, as a whole. So now for this to happen, it's kind of just, I can see it. They're going the way of AMC.
I think what kind of hurts them, and I have a guilty conscience on this because I pertain to the problem itself. So like you look at these decisions, kind of like you elaborated at, it's like there's a series of bad decisions by Regal that doesn't allow them to compete with, things like Cinemark. For me, the big one that sticks out is obviously the movie plan, the $18 a month movie plan to where you see as many movies as you want. Great in theory. It's awesome in theory to the
grasp.
Yeah, but it it loses them a lot of money in the same instance. And to me, when they open back up,
2 films pays for it.
Yeah.
I mean,
I mean,
the gimmicks are there. Those are like your desperate grab to get people in.
Yeah.
But ultimately, long run, it hurts you.
So what I wonder is like, so when they open back up, we'll say it's March just for shits and giggles. They open in March. Okay. And do they come back with that same plan? Like I'm a part of it. $18 a month. I pay for it gladly because I see probably 15, 20 movies a month in a normal year.
For you, it's huge.
And that's not your fault. That's their fault.
I'm just taking advantage of the situation. Right. Certainly anybody else would. My question is like, do they keep that going, or do they go, hey, look, we're on a maturity of a loan here and we have to hunker down and get some money back. But do you risk alienating your audience because of that decision too?
I think that Regal has one of the best loyalty programs out of all of the theaters.
I think it's better than Cinemark's.
It's 100% better than Cinemark's because it goes in a rotation. It's a popcorn, a drink, and then a movie ticket, but you only have to spend it's like 3 visits and you can get those things. Yeah. So it's really not that bad. I think you could get rid of your movie plan. You could operate off of that, maybe make it so that, maybe you incentivize that and make it quicker or something like that. I don't know. You have to do something that draws people in, and incentives isn't going to do it because ultimately, if you don't have good movies in there, the average person who doesn't see every film and review them is going to go, well, fuck, what am I paying this $18 for? I'm just going to go to Cinemark to see this because it's closer. You've got to have movies that bring in traffic.
Yeah.
You want to do free popcorn or something that you're not going to lose a shitload of money off of. Do something like that. Dollar popcorn days where you're going to make, 10 cents of profit off of it instead of, $3. But you got to pull some type of deal with these production companies on your ticket sales in order to stay afloat and have good movies to bring people in. Otherwise, you're not going to survive because you're not going to make it on concessions because nobody's coming in to see your shitty movies.
Right.
I think there's certainly some questionable days ahead for Cineworld and Regal Cinemas.
Yeah.
Yep.
I want to pause and leave us with a cliffhanger because I want to get into our guest.
Okay.
Just because of time. But there's more things I want to talk about on the Hollywood Report anyways. So we're going to leave you guys with a cliffhanger. We're going to pause. We're going to pick up Hollywood Report again after we invite our guest on. We'll finish up with Chris's things. And I had a couple questions for the guys anyways also. So we're going to hop over to Made to Motivate. We've got a special guest on, a social media content creator, TikTok superstar. She does YouTube and all kinds of cool things. So we're going to hop into Made to Motivate. And then we will get back into the regular scheduled show.
Just do it! Don't let your dreams be dreams. Yesterday, you said tomorrow. So just do it! Make your dreams come true! Just do it!
There's gonna be a random tale every now and then.
No worries. All right, guys. So we're back with Made to Motivate segment, and we've got Shyanne joining us from. Are you in Washington?
Yes.
Somewhere on the West Coast. She's far away from us. So, as I posted online, Shyanne does social media content creating across the numerous different sites and everything. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
Appreciate you coming on.
Thanks for inviting me.
Absolutely. So, little backstory, how I found Shyanne and got her to join the show. So, we talk about TikTok on the show quite often. At least me, Jesse, and Chris make fun of me for it. But I am a TikTok fan and been on it about a year now. And for you guys that don't have TikTok, it creates like an algorithm for you. It's much reminiscent to like Vine.
Yeah.
So it creates an algorithm for you based on videos you like, and then
interest.
Yeah, eventually your timeline becomes that. So mine's like boobs and butts and artists and like people that create stuff. So
at least you're honest.
And people. So I think the very first video I found of Beautifulbadass3, Shyanne, is it was a DeLorean video. So she has a DeLorean. You guys know I'm a big Back to the Future fan.
Yeah.
Got a DeLorean tattoo. So I'm like scrolling through one day, find her on TikTok, and then started following her, became a fan of like her content. She does lots of cool stuff. So through there, found Instagram and Twitter and YouTube, all that fun stuff. TikTok kind of links you to everything. And so I've been following you on Instagram for a while, and we wanted to do this season is season 3 for us. And we're like, we're going to reach out to people that do like cool jobs or cool hobbies or like have interesting life stories. So we've reached out to lots of different people that do those sorts of things. And I messaged her. I'm like, there's no way this chick is going to see my message or respond, because people with 2 million TikTok followers or hundreds of thousands Instagram followers, they don't respond.
Yeah.
And I get it, because your inbox is probably flooded with millions of people. So, but I messaged her and she responded, and I was like, sweet. And you agreed to come on the show. I'm like, well, this is cool. It'll be something very different for us. We had like William Hung on, and that was really cool. He joined us from California and stuff. But I was thrilled when you said you'd come on, because it was something really different for us. So you go by Shyanne. It's Beautifulbadass3 on TikTok. What would your friends describe you as? So through your online and stuff, I mean, you do lots of different things. What would you describe yourself as, or what would your friends say about you?
Okay, so I don't know if this is cheating, but I knew you were gonna ask that, so I asked my close friends.
Okay.
Studying.
And pretty much every single one of them, they had like some difference, but almost all of them said motivated or in some form or fashion. And then of course calling me goofy and a weirdo and whatnot.
Yeah.
But I don't know, like motivated or
something about that.
That's perfect for our show, since it's called Made to Motivate podcast. So.
I know whenever I saw that, I was like, oh, this is
yeah, no, that's
awesome.
perfect. I think we'd much describe ourselves as very motivated and goofy and stuff like that as well. So very fitting. Following your page and kind of seeing your likes, I'd say gun junkie, which me and Jesse definitely both are. We own several firearms, CCW carriers, things like that. Motorcycles, motocross. Obviously you do like the modeling and cosplay stuff, drive some cool cars.
A little bit of everything.
Stuff. You're an adult Disney lover, which I appreciate, because there's far and few of us that don't have kids that still go to Disney and enjoy it as adults.
Hell yeah.
Yep, I got my Minnie Mouse tattoo right here.
Love it. So that was really cool to me. Of those, Chris is like, I can't see it. Of the hobbies that you do, which one's like your favorite, or if you could only choose one of those to do, which would it be?
That's like such a hard question. It's just like whenever people ask me like what my favorite motorcycle is, I'm like, because I couldn't give away my guns.
Right.
Because, for self-defense and everything. So that's not like so much as a hobby. That's kind of like a necessity or whatever.
Yeah.
But if between like cosplay, Disney, motorcycles, wait, did you say what is my favorite, or what one would I give up?
Like if you could only do one, if you could only continue to do just one of those, if you could only do cosplay forever again, or motorcycle racing or motocross?
Motorcycles.
It's basically,
By
yeah,
far.
which one you're the most
Motorcycles.
passionate about.
Motorcycles.
That's
100%.
cool. Okay.
The coolest thing that I find about you, Shyanne, is definitely that you own a DeLorean, which is badass. I'm a big Back to the Future fan. So basically, you have a time machine in your grasp. If you could go back to any single date, where would you go and why?
So I always say like I think I was meant to be my current age, but in the 80s. So honestly, like anytime in the 80s, probably, you know, between like 82 and like 87, around that time period.
Absolutely.
Like I even dress 80s a lot of the times.
Yeah.
And of course, anytime we take the DeLorean out, we dress 80s. Like
Yeah.
it's just a necessity.
Badass.
Dude, how did you come to own that thing?
So it was actually through word of mouth. Like it was never actually listed for sale. But just a friend of a friend had it, and he was just like, "Oh yeah, you know, I'm looking to let go of some of my toys." He has so many cars. But and my husband was like, "Hey," because he's the huge Back to the Future fan. Like I love it, but he's yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was like, "We need to get this," so we ended up getting it.
Dude, I've been looking for one. Like I constantly am checking online and stuff. I want one so bad, but
It's
they're
hard to
not-
find them in good condition.
Yeah. There's
Like-
somewhere in like Texas, I think. Texas or Arizona that does like restoration. They're like one of the main places, Arizona.
Mhm.
And they like have a ton of them and they do like rebuilds and remodeling and stuff. There's
Yeah, we
actually
have a place here too.
Yeah, we have a guy in Talmadge, as if you know that, but for our listeners. So we're in Akron, Ohio. Talmadge is like 10 minutes from us, but there's a guy that lives there who is one of the like few like master DeLorean techs, and he does rebuilds and like remodels and all that stuff for the company that's in Arizona. So I'm hoping one day to be able to snag one from him somehow. We'll see.
So our DeLorean actually has a pretty interesting story.
Yeah.
I was debating whether or not I wanted to share this because I haven't really shared it on social media, but do you know the music video Thrift Shop by Macklemore?
Absolutely.
You know, he has a DeLorean in that video.
Yours?
That's ours.
What?
Nice.
Yeah.
Dude, that's legit.
It was the previous owner that like rented it out or whatever. He used to rent it out for charity events we still do charity events with it, but there's like a documentary that someone did with it.
That's
So
awesome.
it definitely has a lot of like history behind it, I guess. Yeah.
Did you guys pop tags?
Oh yeah, all the time. Stop, cat.
My next serious question is kind of a two-parter. What would you say is your dream motorcycle / car?
Okay, well, I already have my dream motorcycle, my R6, the 2020 R6. And I think I really want like an old muscle car, probably a Camaro.
Yes.
Cool.
Yes.
So I would, yeah, probably that.
You thinking like 70s, maybe late 60s?
Late 60s.
Yeah.
I think it's the model between 67 and 69 that they look pretty similar, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that body style. And then I want it to be blue with white racing stripes.
Nice.
She is all right by me.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I want a Corvette Stingray. That's like mine.
Yeah.
Like 67, 69
Ooh.
Corvette Stingray. I would
Hold
love
on.
to have
Remy,
one.
stop.
Um,
Sorry.
You're good.
I just got those wings and he was trying to eat them. Stop it.
So that's your dream car. So that's cool. You have what do you have, a Charger?
I have a Charger Hellcat.
Yeah. She's got a lot of fun toys. As it is.
Oh yeah, man.
I like to go fast.
I've ridden in a Hellcat one time and it's just like insane.
I like to scare people in it.
Yeah.
I just pedal to the floor and they're just like spaceship.
Yep.
Yeah, it's gone in like no time at all. It's insane.
Yeah.
My little brother has a Charger and it's a badass car.
Yeah.
So what made you like, what started your career in like the career path that you're currently on? So like what was the thing you started doing first, I guess? Was it like cosplay and modeling, or like was TikTok your big break? What kind of broke you out into all the different stuff that you do? Where'd you start off?
Honestly, so TikTok definitely was what like blew it up. I did cosplay before TikTok, but didn't really like post it or
Yeah.
anything like that. It was just, me and my husband would go to comic conventions and whatnot. But I would say TikTok probably is what started it all, because I would just start making goofy videos and while wearing cosplay, and then those went viral, and then started making motorcycle gear ones, and it just kind of blew up from there.
TikTok blew it up.
What's the most favorite cosplay you've ever done? If you had one personal favorite.
I would say probably my Harley Quinn is I would say
My
Harley Quinn
favorite.
probably. My favorite one to
That's-
wear to conventions though is my Spider Gwen, just because it's super comfy, and so I get to run around and jump around and all that.
yeah.
So
I just
can't
saw
really
that
do
one
that
before
with
we
Harley
started this.
Quinn.
Did you?
Yep.
Yeah, I'd say Harley Quinn is probably like anytime I am scrolling TikTok and someone posts them in Harley Quinn, it's like an immediate follow. I love Margot
Yeah.
Robbie and I love Harley Quinn. So I'm like, we'll be on the show and I'll be scrolling TikTok and like, check out Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
It's like my most favorite thing ever.
So it's the contemporary design more like the current one.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So when you do like all of this stuff, these are all your natural hobbies anyways. Is it work to put all this stuff together for like TikTok and Instagram and all this other stuff? Or is it just kind of like, hey, I'm doing this fun stuff anyway, so let's just, take some pictures and videos while we're doing it and everybody loves it?
It started, at least with the cosplay, it started out just for fun around like Halloween. I would put on my cosplays and make TikToks. But then once it started blowing up, and then, I gained a following on Instagram and all of that, then it's like, okay, wow, I need to actually, put some real work into this and start getting actual photographers and some good content going. Um, so yeah, but it's also like something that I would be doing anyways, even if I didn't have my social media platform. So it's kind of both.
Does
I don't
that ever
know.
take anything away from it? Like from your hobbies? Does it ever feel like work because of that?
No,
That's good.
honestly, no.
Yeah. It's like
And
a lot of fun.
Yeah.
literally, like I always say, my whole brand is just my life. Like I share what I'm doing.
Right. Yeah. I mean, if you watch the videos and stuff, and that was part of the thing that I liked about you when I started following your page, is it's very genuine, and like your interaction with like your following is very is unique, a lot more than a lot of people who just post because they want it to be a career, because they want to gain likes and stuff like that. Like yours, you actually show like a genuine interaction. I like when you post like ask me a question stuff and you actually respond to them and you're very open about stuff. Not a lot of people do that. They get real big on whatever platform it is and then they roll with it. And I guess like it's got to be hard, I'm sure, with having that many people. Like I don't even know how you possibly manage an inbox or a feed when you have that big of a following. So not that some people probably don't want to do it. I'm sure it is hard, but that like just that genuine characteristic about you is what was really appealing to me. Is it feels like you really interact with your following and stuff. So that's really cool.
I feel like I couldn't do what I do if I didn't like. I don't know. Because some people, they don't really share like more of their personal life, and that's kind of what I thrive on. I like to share
Yeah.
my adventures, my goofiness, and all that with my followers.
Right.
And I feel like if I had it just like professional photo shoots only or stuff like that, I feel like I wouldn't enjoy it as much.
Right.
I don't know.
I feel like when you do anything like that, whether it's TikTok or YouTube or like for us for the podcast, like we do this for the people that watch or listen. So like we try and interact as much as we can. So through our Facebook and stuff, we have like guest interaction and we ask questions. Like if we didn't have that, I feel like it kind of makes it pointless. So like it takes away the fun from it. Like you're creating the content for people to watch. So if you don't interact with them, it kind of seems meaningless. So that, yeah, I totally get that for sure. What was there one like video or like what created your TikTok blow up, I guess? Like, do you remember one video you posted or like one experience when you really started to skyrocket? Cause you're at what, almost 2 million people now?
Yeah, I think like 1.8 or something like that.
That's a lot of people.
Yeah.
Like,
So really, I gained most of my followers. I don't know if you know this, but TikTok used to be called Musically,
Yes.
to where it was basically just lip syncing to audios.
Yep.
So the app has changed a lot, and I gained most of my followers when it was Musically,
Okay.
which is why I always joke around saying I'm a washed up TikToker, but but because compare now that like big celebrities are on there and stuff, their
Right.
videos get so much attention compared to mine or whatever, which is fine. I still have fun on the app, but anyways, so whenever the app was called Musically, there was just one of my first videos. It was just me doing transitions, putting on motorcycle gear.
Yeah. Okay.
And
Yeah.
for
I've seen
whatever
those.
reason, that got like 2 million views. I think that got me my first 100,000 within like a week or so.
Wow.
Yeah. And then like you obviously know my husband cosplays as Deadpool.
Yeah. Mm.
So and he sounds just like him,
Yeah,
acts
that's
just like
badass.
him. So I would post videos, just totally candid videos of us at Comic-Con, and those would just
Wow.
people go nuts over those.
So you guys need to practice your transition videos.
You need to work on your cosplay.
I know. God.
Well, that's the
Cheyenne,
thing.
you've already.
So
Oh, go ahead.
oh, I've noticed that my cosplay stuff doesn't do as well anymore. But just like you were mentioning earlier, the algorithm, it kind of like gives you whatever you're interested in or whatever you're liking.
Yep.
And I think my issue is I have such a wide variety of content. So
Yeah.
I'll post a lot of motorcycle stuff and get on what I call motorcycle TikTok.
Yeah.
And then whenever I post cosplay stuff, it's like they aren't into that. And
Yeah.
yeah.
Majority of your following has like kind of is underneath that motocross or motorcycle. Then they
Y-
don't like the stuff as much. I get that.
Yeah. But then, like I said, though, if I start posting cosplay stuff consistently, then I get onto cosplay TikTok, and then it's yeah.
It's really weird how TikTok works like that. Like,
Mhm.
because people like I think kind of made that whole like, oh, you're on cosplay TikTok or motorcycle or Disney TikTok or whatever. But it's true because I'll go down, I'll be scrolling and like my content for one day will be like all artists.
Mhm.
And then like the next day it's like something completely different and it just changes. Like you could like one video and it like realigns the way that your feed works.
It's like it wants to fit you into a niche.
Right. Yeah. Like,
Yep,
yeah, it
that
does. It
is
does want to
100%.
like put you in a box. Cause your stuff, like I'll see that you post it through your Instagram and I'm like, I didn't even see that on TikTok. So then I'll have to go to your page directly to see it. But then sometimes it will show up. It's a really weird system that they've got going on over there, but I enjoy
And then
it.
they
Like,
have like shadow banning too, to where
Yeah.
like if I get a video removed, then my videos don't show up to my followers. They have to actually go to my profile.
just so weird.
So
And like
yeah.
some of the stuff I see on there, I'm like some people get stuff blocked over the silliest stuff. And then there's some things I see and I'm like, how are they not blocked? Like it's weird. It's
Well,
weird how
like
that works.
that video of me and the kids electric tank,
Yeah. Oh
that
yeah.
one
I saw
got
that.
removed. I was like, for violent and dangerous activity?
She
I was
had
like,
like
are
a
you
little
serious?
like a like the kids, like you can get like the Hummers or like the
The
Corvette
Barbie
that they ride
Jeeps.
around or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, the little ones.
She had one of those. It was a tank, and they like lost it.
Yeah, they removed it for violent or dangerous activity.
So silly.
Wow. That's
And then they
Didn't
take
have
down my
insurance.
track videos and oh yeah, exactly. Well, people were joking around. They were like, because well, actually, no, I'm not gonna go into that. Never mind. All right. Anyways,
I'll take the next question then.
Right.
Cheyenne, you've accomplished so much throughout a dozen or so creative hobbies and just your social media presence that we've already gone through. What's one thing you've yet to accomplish that you look to in life?
I actually posted about this the other day. So, two things that I really want to accomplish. Well, wait, are you wanting like just one? Like my
Whatever you
No.
main?
Yeah, it doesn't have to be just one.
I'm
Why
like
stop at one?
yeah. So I posted the other day, like I really want to become a Call of Duty operator skin.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So that would be
That'd be
freaking
cool.
That'd be
awesome.
cool.
Because a
Yeah.
lot of the times they will like, because like Zedra, she's like a social media influencer, and she got to, I don't know. I just thought that would be cool because as far as I know, there isn't a blonde one yet.
Yeah.
So
That is actually
Um,
something cool that you wouldn't think of most people saying like as an accomplishment, but that would be badass to be like,
I didn't even know that was like an
Yeah.
option. I thought that was just like the developers threw themselves into it or something like that.
yeah, I'm
That
sure
would
no,
be
they're
sweet.
based off of real people,
Yeah, they
Yeah.
might have
the operators. But so yeah, that I just thought that would be cool. And then I also want to be featured on Playboy. That's another one of the things I really want to
Yeah.
accomplish. And then just investing.
Okay.
That part's kind of boring, but it's important.
I wouldn't say that's not. Yeah, it's not boring at all. Like
Growing
that's
your empire.
Yeah, that's a very important thing. Financial health is something that a lot of people I think don't spend focus or time on, and especially in like a career like you have. Like I think that's something that a lot of people probably overlook. I saw you talking about it on your feed the other day. You're gonna start doing some coaching and stuff for that, and like
Yeah.
financial type things. And I think that's important because when you are when you work for yourself, people don't think about like taxes and income and like planning for their future. So that's an
Yeah.
outlet that I think you can offer a lot of help and is something that's really important.
Well, yeah, and that's what I'm kind of like. I want to give myself like a safety net for if am I allowed to say the site?
Oh yeah.
Am I
Oh, this is a adult
okay?
friendly show. Anything you want.
Okay,
Wait, I'm out
but
of
like you never know. Yeah. Yeah, but basically, like you never know if OnlyFans is just gonna crash, go away.
Right.
Something could happen. So I just want to have a safety net. Like, of course, I have alternative, like
Income stream.
income. Yeah, but that's my main income. So
Right.
basically, yeah,
Well,
that's another one of
OnlyFans
my
crashing is the one thing that could bring America together to fight the common enemy.
Right.
goals.
Right. And so, and I didn't lead off with OnlyFans or anything because like you do so much other stuff, and that's why I wanted you on the show. But to the point of that, I feel like with like COVID and stuff, OnlyFans blew up, and like everyone wanted to be on it, but like a lot of people started them. Did you notice any change in like that formatting or anything for yourself as far as like it being like overrun, oversaturated?
See, people use that word a lot, like with it blowing up and everything. But in my eyes, I'm like, there could be 100 other girls that could possibly, get subscribers, but I have my own niche. So
Yeah.
people that are interested in the stuff I do are gonna subscribe to me. Like
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I don't really believe in the whole like because I'm not a very girls in my industry, they'll get very competitive.
Yeah.
So, and I'm not like that at all. I just
Yeah.
do my thing, whatever. Um, but I did notice like whenever it blew up, the there was a lot of negative because a lot of people were like scamming,
Yeah.
like saying they would be providing something, people
Yeah.
spend the money and then not there or whatever. And so there was like a lot of issues with that because people are like, oh, I don't want to I don't want to take the chance and subscribe to another person because this happened.
Right. Wasn't there like a big name person or something that did that and it was like a huge deal?
Yeah,
Well,
that was
Okay.
a mess.
Yeah, and then that was like I know a ton of people were like pissed because it like
Bellathorn.
yeah, they like
Yep.
reformatted the way things worked or whatever.
Yeah, they have like caps on how much people can tip you and like
Yeah.
I mean it doesn't really affect me because
Yeah.
I don't charge like because I
Yeah.
think the limit is like $100 or something,
Yeah.
and it used to be whatever, but
Yeah, I think with that platform, just like all of your other stuff, like if you have a genuine following, like they're gonna stick around and like you interacting with your following and stuff, I'm sure makes a difference where a lot of those people probably just post their stuff and never talk to anybody. They just think like they're gonna subscribe or they're gonna pay, so it's whatever. So what did you have any, I'm sure you did obviously, but like negative connotations or like negative feedback, like family and stuff, was that a hard thing to transition to when you like, do you openly talk about it? Did you take a while to talk about what you did or like what you do?
I kept it hidden from family and friends. Well, family for longer, but because I've been in the adult industry for like 4 years now, but I kept it hidden probably for like 3 or 2.5 years, something like that.
Yeah.
But then it came to the point where, because I suck at lying, I am the
Yeah.
worst liar. So every time, family or my dad or whatever would be like, "Oh, how's work?" Because he always thought
Yeah.
that I did. He always thought that I did medical billing and coding, so that's how I worked from home.
That's the go-to.
Yeah, and the more and more like he would ask about it, one day I was just like, "This is what I do. I'm sorry, I can't keep
Yeah.
lying to you." And uh, at first he was like worried because he's like an old soul or whatever. So first
Yeah.
thing that came to mind is like the mainstream porn industry, like the 80s style,
Right.
drugs and like all of this kind of stuff.
Oh, the good
It's
old
like,
days.
yeah. I was like, no.
That's why
I was
you want
like,
to go back to the 80s.
no. Heck no.
Gotcha.
But no, once I like told him and stuff, like he has my back totally, and
Yeah.
yeah, that's where I get like kind of my mentality about like if you don't like what I do, F you,
Yeah.
like I don't care.
Right. It's a form of art. OnlyFans is much different than it's not the porn industry. You're not like off with like random people and stuff. Like it's just an art form. It's just like adult modeling. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. People in this country in general, like we look at like the like porn industry or like adult content industry so weird. Like everyone, like we all want to watch it and view it, but then it's like we want to shun the people that do it. And I'm like, that's such a weird concept to me.
Or they want it for free, and
Right.
yeah.
So like you said that you told your family, you told your friends. Have you had like one of those awkward situations though where you find out like one of your friends is subscribed? Like what is that like? Because I've started one and I'm worried about Ryan and Chris finding it. So
well, now you're screwed.
I thought that was you.
So okay, so I didn't really like tell my friends. My friends actually, I had like a crappy situation with that. I was like at a country music festival, and one person found my Twitter and all of my stuff, and like I'm not friends with these people anymore.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
while we were at this festival and everything, they're all like showing each other, whispering about me and all this stuff. I didn't even know that what they were doing was until like 2 months later. I was just like,
Wow.
wow, that's pretty crappy. The whole time they were just sitting there like talking behind my back.
Right.
But yeah, so I lost a lot of friends when I came out about it.
Yeah.
But as far as like awkward situations, I guarantee you, I have a lot of people that know me personally that are subscribed.
Yeah.
But me, I'm like, as long as you don't make it awkward, as long as you don't talk about it with me in person, kind of thing, I don't care.
See, and like I don't know, like to Jesse's point, like I have a lot of friends that have them or like that do adult modeling. Like I've got friends that are suicide girls and stuff. And like I don't look at them that way.
Hold on.
So
Sorry.
oh,
Let
you're
me
good.
yell.
I don't I don't view them in that way because like it's a true like genuine friend of mine. So I don't like look to follow them because like to me that would just be like it would be awkward for me. Like I don't want to see them in that way. Like I want to and I struggle with that sometimes too because it's like I want to support them, but I also don't want to subscribe to their page because I'm not interested in that and I don't want them to like think weirdly of me for that.
Right.
So like as far as like close friends and stuff, like I don't subscribe. I don't look at them any different. Like,
and that's the difference between your predicament and hers,
Right.
with the friends, obviously.
Yeah. And I think like if it's your close friends, like you said, you lost friends over it. It's kind of a blessing to you. You kind of anything like that, you realize like the people that are truly your friends and like people that are just there to like tag along and stuff. So kind of eliminate some
Well,
stuff.
I guarantee some of those people that like did that or whatever that I lost or whatever whenever I came out, I guarantee you they're probably subscribed or they probably
That would be a great twist.
But
They're paying you, so whatever.
yeah.
Or they're
But
one of your like 150,000 free ones. You got a crazy following on that. That is insane.
This is
well,
sick.
not 150,000. I think it's like 30,000.
It was something crazy big though, and I was like, dang.
Yeah.
What? I have a question. So what is the monthly fee on your page?
Mine's $24.99.
$24.99. How did you personally come to that number?
So starting out, Sorry, he's always chewing on something, and I'm always afraid it's a wire or something.
Yeah.
But
He's actually part of my next question, so we'll answer this and then we'll go to that.
okay. But sorry, what was the question?
So you said $24.99 was your monthly fee. What made you comfortable about coming to that number?
So I mean, starting out, whenever I first started OnlyFans, I wasn't really, because I was also like still live streaming, camming instead, and so I just had that on the side for exclusive
Yeah.
boy girl content type stuff. Um, and so that's why it was $24.99, because it was so like exclusive and everything. And then once I started posting like even more, I was like, I feel like I should still. I feel like my time, my content, and everything is still worth this amount.
Sure.
So I don't know. I always say, like, especially to other girls and other creators, never undersell yourself.
Yep. That's just about
Yeah.
exactly what I was about to say.
I just think it's impressive because you have to toe a line, because if you charge too much, you could risk alienating your followers, you know. But I mean, obviously you're confident in your product, and you know, it sounds like it's worked out very well.
Yeah. When I first started doing any kind of like, when I first started doing like graphic design work, or like when I used to do screen printing and stuff, I used to always undersell because I wanted to build an audience and build a brand. But then you get to the point where you understand what your craft is worth. The people that appreciate it are going to pay it, and the people that don't, it's whatever. So like now with doing like wedding videography and photography and stuff, like this is my price. Like if you want to book me. I know what my time is worth. And as artists, I think we so often, and what you do is it's just another form of art. I think we so often undersell ourselves, or like we're so concerned about having more than like a quality, you know? So, I don't know what the going rates for that is, but I think as long as you know what you're worth, and if people are going to pay it, and obviously you've got a following and you've got people like that you're looking to coach and stuff like that, I think that's also really cool and important to like give back and take. And like I saw you said you're not even charging for it, which is really cool, because you could do like consulting type things, you know? So it's cool that you're offering, you know, feedback and insight and stuff for that without charging for it. I admire that. So Chris, you had another question?
No, I was going to ask her cat a question, but he looks like he's kind of stage fright right now.
Did you see him? He was like attacking the couch just a second ago. He's bad. I'm surprised he hasn't bitten me yet. I don't know if you've seen those viral videos of him biting me.
Cats
if I'm
are
not
wild,
paying enough
man.
attention to him, he'll bite me.
I got one. I know how it's like. I know that struggle.
Yeah. So of all of the stuff that you do, or like people that you follow and stuff, who inspires you? Like who's somebody that you look up to? You know, whether it's for like in your career that you look up to like motivate you to do stuff, or just someone in your personal life. What's something that inspires you? Or someone?
I would say my husband has probably the number one impact. I always say like he's my cheerleader. Because I'm a very like, it doesn't seem like it online, of course, but like in person, I can get like very, very shy, very anxious, and all that. But he's like, he pushes me to go outside of my comfort zone. So he got me into motorcycles. I used to say I would never ride a motorcycle.
Yeah.
He got me on one. I used to say I would never ride track, and then now I do, and like all kinds of stuff.
That's what love's about, though. It's about, you know, grabbing the hand of someone else and
support,
going into danger and facing it head on.
Yeah.
And speaking of motorcycle riding, I don't know if you guys have seen the videos yet, but like I just watched the one the other day that you were posting at the track, and like I ride motorcycles, but like I watched your shit and I'm like, there ain't no fucking way. Like you're like sideways on the ground. It takes a lot of balls to like get to that point.
Yeah.
Like, does it take a while to build up to the confidence to ride a motorcycle like that? Like, I mean, that's honestly serious. Like the track racing type.
Well, are you talking about mostly like how far I lean the bike over?
Yep.
Honestly, whenever you're on the track going those speeds, it doesn't feel like you're leaning that far over. Gravity. And then you see the pictures and you're like, oh my God.
Right.
But I think people kind of underestimate, you know, the grippiness of the tires.
Yeah.
Like I don't even push it as far as it could go. Like I haven't dragged my knee yet or whatever.
Dude.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
I give a lot of credit to it, because I mean, I don't know. I mean, I know like the science is there and like gravity and the velocity of you moving and stuff, but man, I looked at that one video you posted and I'm just like, you're laying on the ground and going probably like 100 miles per hour. I'm cool on that. Like I'm gonna stay upright and just do my ride.
You got to know your bike well, you know, to do that kind of thing.
You say drag your knee, and I just like envision it just grinding off real quick, like no knee left,
just tumbling.
Yeah.
Oh my
But yeah, I guess like I don't know. I guess now I'm so toned in with my bike and everything that it kind of is like second. But don't get me wrong, I definitely have a lot of learning still, but
Yeah.
I don't
I
know.
saw you post something about amateur racing or like your husband or someone getting into that maybe next year.
Yeah, so he's for sure doing it. He's trying to get me to do it, but I'm not a competitive person like at all. So I'm like, I like going to the track just for fun, but I don't know. I might do it.
It's worth trying. I mean, it's worth giving a try at the very least. Like you get out of it, but I think it's just something that will push you further, you know, and it gives kind of gives you like an outlet for all the work and stuff you're putting in with like just going to the track and stuff like that. So I think that would be really cool.
Well, yeah, and then like with being a racer and stuff, then it opens, sponsorship possibilities and stuff like that. So
Yeah,
for sure.
So at this point in like your career and stuff, what's your next goal, or where do you? So I mean, you said posing for Playboy or being on Playboy is like a career goal. That kind of is kind of in line with like what you already do. Is there somewhere where like you're looking like the next step, or like where you're looking to take your career? Are you looking to like advance in TikTok, or are you looking to focus more on, like the motorcycle racing stuff? What's the next step for you?
I mean, I'm happy with how I am. I don't want to get too big because I worry that if I get too big, then I won't be able to give the personal like experience type thing. Because like right now, I respond to all of my messages. I do
Yeah.
everything myself, and then I see these bigger creators that they have to have like assistants and stuff help them, and I don't know.
Right.
But I would say probably like the racing and motorcycle stuff, just getting better and possibly working up the courage to race.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With like you were mentioning with having like assistants and stuff, we briefly talked about this with a guest. Was Cordell this season or last season?
Last season.
End of last, yeah.
We briefly talked with a guest last time. He was on one of Amber Rose's bodyguards, and like he was real big online, and like he talked about like helping her manage her social media, because of getting like obviously such an influx of messages and stuff. How do you like manage that yourself? I mean, between I think on TikTok you can't message someone unless they follow you too, right? So you can't get messages on TikTok, but like your Instagram, like direct stories and stuff, when you post ask me a question, how do you possibly manage all of that feed? Like, do you dedicate a time of your day? Is it kind of just throughout the day you go on and look at stuff? How do you do
Just
that?
throughout the day.
Yeah.
I have like super bad like ADD. Like I am all over the place throughout the day. So I have no set like schedule or routine or anything for my social media except for like OnlyFans messages. I of course like every morning that's my first thing I do is answer all of my messages or whatever. But as far as TikTok and Instagram and Twitter,
Yeah.
I just throughout the day, I treat it almost as like a personal social media.
Yeah.
In a way.
Does that give you like, so for me, one, like notifications on my phone, so like iPhone, get like the red bubbles and stuff, gives me anxiety. And if I go on like anything, like an Instagram or TikTok or Twitter or whatever, and I've got messages, like I can't not look at them right away. Not because like I like feel the need to respond to someone right away, but I hate having those notifications there. When you have a whole bunch, does that get overwhelming? Like, do you feel anxious about it ever? Or at this point, you're just kind of used to it?
Well, I have my notifications turned off,
Yeah.
except for like Instagram like messages, not the requests, but like the ones that I'm already like mid conversation or whatever.
Right.
So I mean, I think the most overwhelming thing was probably TikTok.
Yeah.
Ever since, because for the longest time, I don't know when it was that you followed me, but I had comments turned off the whole entire time until just this year I turned comments on. Yeah, because I had them off because for the longest time, I kept TikTok totally separate from my adult work. Like
Right.
all of my followers on TikTok had no idea that, well, some of them did, but like
Yeah.
I never talked about it, didn't have my Instagram, anything.
Right.
Um, but I totally forgot where I was going with this.
Managing notifications and like
Oh
messages
yeah.
like that.
But ever since I turned them on, the comments are overwhelming, definitely.
I can imagine that
But
because like you get on a feed and like when I go on my Instagram and like if I've posted something that got like a lot of feedback, it's hard to track it. And then like you see that someone commented, but you try to go to it and then you can't find it, or somebody tags you in something and you can't see it. Like there's so much, and I'm talking me on a 1/1,000,000th of a scale of what you have. So I don't even know how you like, I don't know. I feel like I'd be so overwhelmed. Like I always say, I don't ever want to have like a huge following online because I wouldn't know what to do with it. I just feel like I'd be like super anxious about it all the time.
yeah, I mean, there are times that like I feel guilty if I don't respond to a bunch of people, but how I kind of gauge it now is I don't really respond too much to older videos because
Yeah,
but I'll always respond to my most recent TikToks
that makes
instead
sense.
because
Mhm.
otherwise I would just, yeah,
You'd literally spend your entire day doing that.
exactly.
So I've got a question for you, more like advice. Outside of our podcast, we all kind of have like our own little niches, and you're really successful, and you have all of this stuff going on. Chris does great movie reviews. Ryan kind of does a little bit of everything, and I do sports articles and everything. What is one piece of advice that you would give to us and anybody that listens to this about how to kind of take that next step into building your brand
Great
and
question.
making stuff, so that you can live off of your own work?
Subscribe to her OnlyFans.
I don't know.
And then she's going to be offering
No.
advice on there soon.
I know.
No,
Kidding.
I mean, because like usually I get the question like how from like people that are wanting to be social media influencers, and I'm always like, be yourself,
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
yourself. That's like my number one thing because whenever I first started my career or whatever, I used to put on this facade that because I was in the adult industry, so I was like, I have to be, sexy and all this stuff.
Right.
And it wasn't until I started being myself that everything
Yeah.
blew up and people, yeah. But as far as like just a general thing, I would say put yourself out of your comfort zone. Just push
Yeah.
yourself. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
I think it's kind of it's a tough question to answer, I think. So
Yeah.
because with social media, like you could have one video, one post that blows up,
Yep.
and that's it for you. And like from there, it's like smooth sailing. So like when your transition video or whatever it was, that one video that you really noticed caught the attention of people, and then it spirals. I feel like once you get that one, it just kind of starts to steamroll from there, and like
Yep.
it's a quick pickup, but it's getting to that point because we always talk about like, like Jesse said, Jesse writes really, I mean, he writes for Sports Illustrated, like he writes amazing articles and
Yes,
stuff.
sir.
Chris does movie reviews, like career wise. We're at what, 1,600 or something at this
Almost.
point?
Yeah, I'll be 1,600 in February.
Like these dudes are incredible writers and stuff. And like I feel like we all as a group offer really good content, but you have to get that one person that sees it, and then from there, like it can blow up.
Yep.
Because I think so many people, and like that's one thing I appreciate about TikTok, and that I found out from TikTok is the amount of amazing creators out there, whether it's art or like there's so many like musicians that I've found from TikTok that I'm like, this dude needs a record deal. Like you are insane, or like the
Mhm.
artists that I follow and stuff. So that's a platform. Like it gets a lot of crap for like the older people, like for me to have it. But I'm like, I don't care because there's so much content on there
Yeah.
that you can appreciate. And it's artists as a whole are very underrated. I think people just need to stick to your craft, and if you enjoy doing it, like you enjoy doing what you're doing, it doesn't feel like work. And eventually you get to that point where we hope to be at someday and do this podcast for, I don't even say I won't even do it for a living because I like not having to like worry about it. But where you can make income off of it, which kind of leads me to a quick question that I didn't even think about until now. Do you Jesse kind of asked you it earlier, but like, not that it feels like work what you do, but do you ever feel stressed? Do you ever feel stressed by it because you rely on it as a source of income? So like I've done several businesses in the past. I used to be solely 100% like self-employed, and it got to a point where like I started to not enjoy it because like I relied on that to like feed myself and pay my bills. So I was like, I can't do this as my main source of income and like to rely on that. Do you ever feel that way about your content creating?
Um, Sometimes, only because so with OnlyFans, for instance, it's a constant roller coaster with subscribers. One day you gain some, and then all of a sudden you'll have a huge drop of people that
Right.
don't renew. And sometimes over like that huge drop hits, I'm like, oh,
Right.
crap, what is going on or whatever. But then it comes back up. But yeah, I do have those times where I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to up my game. I need to, do
Yeah.
something. But I don't
I
know. Did
gotcha.
that answer your question?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like with any job, like at some point, I feel like you're going to stress over it. So, but you have the right mindset as far as several revenue streams and like doing multiple crafts and stuff like that. So that definitely helps. Not
Well,
relying on like one thing.
and like I mentioned earlier, a big thing that I think about often, especially wherever OnlyFans has like their little glitches,
Yeah.
is the site crashing and going away.
Yeah.
I mean, there's plenty of other like sites or whatever they're like it, but
Yeah.
that is one big thing that stresses me out every
But
now
they
and then.
like blew up. How long has that been around? Do you
Long
know?
time. Like,
Long time? Because it was like not until recently. I don't know if it was because of COVID and stuff. Like I didn't hear about it or know about it or anything. And then it like now it just blew up.
December 13th, 2019 at 10:15.
Chris
PM.
knows
Yep.
his first
Yeah,
person.
something like that. But no, so I started in like 2000, like early 2019. So yeah,
Yeah. So that's not
something
that
like that.
long,
But I think
really.
I think that the site has been around since like 2017 though.
Okay.
Wow.
Something like that. But I didn't hear about it until then. And yeah, like I said, I just kind of got into it or whatever.
Yeah.
But then yeah, once more people started subscribing and all that, I was like, all right, let's transition from live streaming to this.
Yeah. It's more, I think it gives you more of like a creative outlet because you can plan stuff to post and not have to do it like live or whatever. So that's cool.
My big thing with it is it's much more rewarding because before I would live stream, and while some people would be, supporting or tipping or whatever, there would be hundreds of freeloaders,
Yeah. Yeah.
like people that wouldn't talk, do anything. Having OnlyFans, having that little paywall or whatever you want to
Right.
call it, to where the content I'm taking the time and energy to make, only people who support me get access to it. It's a
Right.
much more rewarding feeling,
It's
I guess.
exclusive.
Yeah.
Yeah. The exclusivity of it makes it like a bigger deal. And you know that you're getting people that like truly support it. So
Yeah.
it makes all the difference.
Exactly.
And that's why like having a set price and knowing what it's worth is what it's worth, because the people that are going to pay that are truly going to support it. So that's cool. Do you guys have any other questions?
I'm good.
I just want to thank her for
Yeah.
coming on and sharing her avenue of creativity with us. You're definitely the coolest guest that we've ever had. I'll go on a limb and say that.
Yeah.
And I just want to thank you for that.
Sorry, Will. You've been
Oh.
replaced.
You're gonna make me blush.
No, I do appreciate it. I think you do. I genuinely do appreciate just the fact of responding and be willing to come on, because that is a big deal. We reach out to people that we like, that we just have interest in what they do, people that we respect and appreciate. So the fact that you were willing to come on, I genuinely appreciate. And like Chris said, very cool, all the stuff that you do. I admire that. I am one of doing lots of different things, but not to the extent of like what you do and like managing that. So I've got a lot of respect for that. So yeah, thank you for coming on. We appreciate it. We'll have the show up and be able to listen soon. I'll send you the link and everything for that. If you guys don't already, if you have TikTok, I'll have all the info for Shyanne. Cool YouTube videos, and you can follow her on all the social media. in her
Oh, yeah,
Instagram,
I'm on
you can
everything.
one of those link tree things that I just signed up for, thanks to her, because I found the
Oh,
link. to her
the
page.
beacon one or
Yeah,
whatever.
dude,
Yeah,
are
it's
they
so
newer?
nice.
The dude, like
Yeah.
the owner guy, emailed me and he was like, "Hey, thanks for signing up," and then he followed me, and I'm like, "That's cool."
Yeah, it's much newer because for whatever reason, TikTok has been like flagging accounts that have Linktree
Okay.
instead. So I don't know why, but like they kept on removing mine.
Yeah,
And so another TikToker was like, "Hey, try this," and
yeah.
I like it way better.
What you guys should
Anyways.
look into. So if you go to Cheyenne's page, I downloaded it on mine.
Twitter page or TikTok?
Go to her Instagram.
Okay.
So, and then for listeners, if you're interested in this, if you're a content creator, so basically what it allows you to do through Instagram, you have the ability to put one link.
Yeah.
And so like for me, for the longest time, I think it's been our podcast page, but with this, it's beacons.ai. You have an affiliate thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you go to hers and click her link, and then there'll be create a page like this. It allows you to put all of your social media links in one link. So like I have our setup now that we have got like listen to the podcast, watch the podcast Instagram, my YouTube, my wedding stuff, all in one place. So now someone clicks that and they can see everything rather than trying to direct people to a million sites. You can share one link with them, and then now it's going to show them all of your content, revenue streams or avenues, whatever it is. So
what a time saver.
Is a big time saver. But through Cheyenne's, or you'll be able to see all of the stuff she does, her TikTok and everything.
Looks like this.
Yeah. So Beacons AI, if you want to sponsor us, hit me up. we'll promote you. But in the meantime, go to Cheyenne's page and you can see all of the stuff that she does, and then there's also a link to sign up, so that way you can kind of content.
And also, so on most stuff, I'm Beautifulbadass3. And then like on Twitter, it is Shy Cutie MFC, I think is what it is on Twitter.
I think that sounds right.
But again, if you just go to my Instagram, then
that's the easiest place to direct,
like he said, and then everything's there.
You'll be able to see all of her different pages and different content that she creates and stuff. So very cool. Exactly. Thanks so much again for coming on. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. And you have a good rest of your early evening. It's like 4 o'clock there, 4:30 or something?
5:30.
5:30. You got the whole day ahead of you.
Oh yeah.
All right, Shyanne. We appreciate it. You have a good night.
You too. Bye-bye.
Thanks. All right, guys. Thanks to Shy Cutie, Beautiful Badass, Shyanne. She goes by a lot of names. She's got a lot of different things going on. So thanks for coming on. We're going to pick back up with Hollywood Report. So we went into a little intermission there to have our guest on for Made to Motivate. So we're going to hop back into Hollywood Report 2.0.
My God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm. What's the procedure, everyone? What's the procedure? Stay calm! Wait. Everybody calm down! Two, Steve, assemble!
It's a good show when you get to hear that twice.
Right?
Stop yelling, Brick Tamlin.
I love Brick Tamlin. So we were talking theaters and Regal's possible demise, or maybe their rebirth. I don't know. Jesse made a lot of good points about, wanting Regal to do well, just wanting theaters to do well. My thing with Regal, or just movie theaters in general, that I was thinking about as you guys were talking about, cinemas in general, is there's not a lot of, I can't imagine that there's a lot of profit margin in that. So to stick to stay relevant, I guess, and kind of be with the times and everything, you obviously need to continually be updating.
Yeah.
But I can't imagine, especially like in the times of today, that there's a lot of profit available to maintain updates to your theaters and things, which I think if you don't, people are going to go to a Tinseltown or something over your Regal that doesn't have some of the amenities. But an overhaul like that, it's got to cost a ton of money, to upgrade to like luxury recliners and better sound systems and different projectors and all of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I can't imagine that they have that much money available to do that. Like Regal, when I lived in Green, there was that Regal literally I could like almost walk to, the Independence one, whatever, or the one
that's the one I go to, the Interstate
Arlington
Parkway.
Not Arlington.
Interstate
on Arlington.
Parkway.
Interstate, that one. So But I would drive all the way to Tinseltown because that one was super small. They had the regular old school theater seats that are like an airplane seat.
Yeah, their largest theater in there, I think, is like 180 seats.
Yeah.
Which is nothing.
And like that's in a fairly nice area. You would think, if anything, that would be an upgraded place because the clientele's is a little bit wealthier. It's a nice place.
That's one of the least patronized Regals in the area.
I was going to bring up your point from a couple months ago when you said that.
Yep.
And that surprised me.
One of the least.
And that's
like,
yeah,
I think Independence by Chapel Hill Mall is the only one that's worse.
Yes.
Yeah. And
Which
that's
is
weird
awful,
to me.
but-
I wonder why, because it's the only one in the area. There's not like
I've always thought that was weird.
You know what's even stranger is like I've gone to Regals in other states and like their Regals are nice. Like their Regals are nothing like ours. I don't know what that is. I guess just Ohio is not a Regal state.
Cinemark's just always been, because I used to be Regal. Because for me, it used to be, I would just go for the convenience. Like I didn't care as much. I'm like, that's the closest theater. I don't want to drive far.
Right.
But then like I experienced Tinseltown and I was like, I experienced Tinseltown XD. And I was like, this is it for me.
And you feel like you're missing on something when you're not in there.
It was Everest.
Oh, yes.
In XD. That was my first like XD experience. And like that movie shook me, man. Like, just, like that experience, like just the sound and the quality of watching that on that screen. After that, I was like, this is the only place I can go.
Josh Brolin's face.
Yeah, dude. I only wanted to see XD movies. I only wanted to go to the recliners. Like that ruined other theaters for me. Even like the Cinemark and the Falls. Like they've got the recliners and stuff, but it's not the same. Like I don't know. They don't do the reserve. Do they do reserve seating now?
Everywhere.
Yeah, they didn't used to. Which is one of the reasons I wouldn't go there, because I was like, I like having that reserve your seat. Don't have to worry about showing up and finding it. You remember the days of movie theaters, like especially as a kid?
I went and saw I saw episode 7 for Star Wars, and I left directly after work, got there 2 hours before it started.
Yeah.
And I got a good seat in the middle, but there were already probably 80 people there before me.
I remember having anxiety in the past about like buying a movie theater ticket and then like having to get there and like try and find your seat.
Well, that's like
looking through and like, oh, is there
the days of like the midnight showings when you lined up outside and you had to get there first and everybody dressed up.
Dark Knight.
All of those are done.
Yeah.
Like that's not a thing anymore.
Because you don't have to.
After the Dark Knight Rises shooting, they cut all of them back to 10 o'clock and then they did reserve seating. That's not a thing anymore.
There's no such thing as midnight screenings anymore.
And there's no more hype for movies like that. Like there's hype for movies, but like even Infinity War and Endgame, like nobody came in dressed like Iron Man. If that movie would have come out, same build up for 10 years and all that other stuff, but it happened in 2006, you would have people in there with full-fledged Iron Man cosplay suits, Thor hammer, like whole entire get up.
Right.
They'd have handmade gauntlets and shit that they would come in with. None of that exists anymore.
I did Joker for Heath.
Yeah.
Question I had about you're saying Regal and how you went out of your way to go to Cinemark. Have you ever gone to Hudson?
Is it a Cinemark?
Hudson Regal.
Oh, I've not.
Okay. They have recliners there. Test those out just for one movie.
Are they the same as Tinseltown?
In my opinion, the Hudson Regal recliners are some of the best I've ever been.
Really?
In. Yeah. Just because they go down further.
Yeah.
Which makes it like you are literally laying down through the whole movie. There's plenty of room in there. There's definitely nowhere near as many seats.
They're much smaller. Yeah.
Yeah. Like each theater is like, I think the biggest theater there is like maybe 50 seats.
Yeah. They're really small.
Yeah.
I was shocked how small it was the first time I went there a couple of years ago. I was like, what the fuck? How does this place make money?
And the decor is very 90s neon aesthetic.
But I like that.
Yeah, I do too. I actually, to be honest with you, as far as the amenities go, the Hudson Regal is my favorite Regal of all of them.
Yeah.
I'd say that's probably true, other than Crocker Park, but that's because they've got IMAX, so that's the only thing that they got.
That's true. I've only been to Crocker Park once.
Yeah.
The one thing I'd like to see Tinseltown upgrade to is the heated seats.
Yeah.
They have at what is it?
The bistro.
The bistro one.
Yeah.
I love
See, that's one thing, man. Like when I went there, those things were hot.
I like it, man. It's
They
so
were
cozy.
hot. They were like ready to burn me, man.
You got to go there in the middle of January. Just
I don't like it when I lay all the way back though with all that heated seats, because then it's like I'm gonna fall asleep.
About to pass out.
Yeah, I can't do it. I want to be comfortable, but not like laying in bed with a blanket at home.
But it's optional. You can turn it off.
Sure, but I'm not gonna not turn it on.
I know. It just feels so good, man. That was one of my favorite things about Cinemark, or like the reserve seats and just like the recliners and stuff, is I would go to the movies on the movie night. So Tuesday nights when it was like the discounted movie.
Yeah.
And I always used to go to movies at like 10 o'clock and I'd go and I'd be the only one there.
Oh, it's
I would just go in like sweatpants and a
You're
hoodie.
the fucking asshole that kept me there until 1 o'clock in the
bro.
morning.
Absolutely. Because I was like, there's no one in here. Tinseltown's got where the armrests go up. So you can like, you have all the seats, man. I literally just be laid out.
Yeah.
Just fucking
Yep.
taking it all in.
I stretch them all, put all the armrests up,
Yeah,
and I just
dude.
sit across there like that.
I like got I'm like super cozy,
Mhm.
kick the shoes off, lay out, watch a movie.
My post with like all my Regal memories came up from
saw
my
it.
thing, and the one about, you know, nothing is after Superman. If you make me wait 15 minutes
I'll
for your
kill
credits,
you.
I'm gonna, yeah.
I'm like, that wouldn't fly today. It's good thing Jesse doesn't work there anymore. Like, you're
I
fired.
used to-
Yeah.
If there was nothing on like afterwards and we were closing up, I would literally just open up the window. I'd be like, "There's nothing after the credits," and I'd just cut them off.
Oh my god.
Fuck you guys, get the fuck out.
That's fantastic.
Turn back on the popcorn machine. I want more fucking
No,
refills.
you're not doing none of that.
So, jokes aside, and serious question, what do you guys think? What do you think timeline wise for theaters remaining? Like, do you think that we're going to genuinely have like theaters start to phase out over the next couple years, like where they're going to be gone?
I think that
Or far and few
theaters will
between.
eventually be what drive-ins are now, where it will be a niche type of thing.
Yeah.
I don't know if they'll ever go extinct. I don't know if there'll ever be like what do we have within our vicinity? Probably like 5 or 6 theaters that you could easily get to within 20 minutes.
What's vicinity? Like as far as
Like,
25 minutes?
Yeah, like if we were like, hey, let's go see a movie, what possible places might we go to?
So
We've got
Regal Green, you got the
I'd go to
Tinseltown,
Montrose.
you got Bistro, you've got Cinemark in the Falls, you've got Fairlawn, you've got you got
about 7, 8.
you got a good
theaters.
amount.
I think it'll get to the point where you'll have,
Even Kent I go to.
Yeah, Kent. Yeah, there's quite a few in our area.
I think you might drop down to 4.
Yeah, like just like less in a certain area where you have to go
It's-
like pick or choose.
It's going to be one of those things where it'll be movie heads like us, and
Yeah.
everybody else will stay at home and be like, I got Wonder Woman on HBO. I don't need to
Right.
watch it. Because now, I mean, that new TV I got, it's only 55 inches, but with the 4K and the high def resolution and all that stuff, like, it's a pretty good viewing experience.
It's good, but
Some
it's
movies
like,
I'd be okay watching that at home.
yeah,
Wonder Woman, probably not, but like, there are plenty of Marvel movies that I went to see where afterwards I was like, I could have watched that at home.
So, do you, when you're at home watching a movie,
Mm-hmm.
are you in the movie experience full on like you are a theater, or do you find yourself distracted by your phone or like getting up and doing other stuff? Like when you turn on a movie at home, a new movie, do you really find yourself sitting there full on involved in that movie and that's it for
That's
the
a
2
good
hours?
question.
It definitely depends on if the movie catches me.
Yeah.
Mhm.
If it doesn't, I'm more likely to turn it off or scroll my phone,
Yeah.
kind of halfway pay attention.
Yep.
But like, if for some reason I could not go see Wonder Woman in theaters and I had to go and watch it at home,
Yeah.
I wouldn't turn my eyes away from that.
Yeah.
Like if it's something that I know I want to see,
Yeah.
Like even movies I've seen before, like Inglourious Bastards. I love that movie. I will watch every second of it. When I turn it on, I'm watching that movie for 2 hours and 25 minutes, and
Yeah.
that's what I'm doing. So there's almost an appeal to it because at home, Wonder Woman, you know, I run out of popcorn or I got to take a piss. I don't have to miss anything.
Right.
And I think that's a big part of the downfall of theaters too, is I don't have to commit to anything.
Yeah.
It's there. I can watch it whenever I want. If an emergency happens,
Yeah.
done.
I think that's part of the experience though, for like me, like, and part of that just,
I hate that. I'm not saying that I want that to happen,
Yeah,
but that's
yeah.
the casual viewer.
I think for me, and it's more, I don't want to say it's like an ADD thing, but like if I'm at home, I can't remember the last time I watched a movie at home where I watched that entire movie uninterrupted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like literally it's been forever. A message from you guys will go off and I'll quickly check it and respond, or I'll check my Instagram, or I'll get an email or whatever. Something will come up.
Yeah.
When I'm in the theater, I'm involved, I'm there, I've paid and I've committed to that movie. And like I think at home, my experience personally just isn't as good because there's so much that can go on to distract me,
Mhm.
you know, and going to the theater is just,
You have the audience to hold you responsible too.
yeah.
So if you took your phone out, you'd be the asshole that took their phone
and
out.
not even like nowadays, there's no one there,
Mhm.
but I still won't, because it's like, you've paid the money for it and like you go for that experience. You go to be there enthralled in the dark, surrounded by the sound. And like, a lot of people don't care about that, you know, unfortunately. And that's why we're at where we're at. But for me, like, it's just, I don't know. There's something about that just feels good.
It's the escapism.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's it. You tune out from everything else. You're in the theater. Nothing else matters.
You can't escape at home.
Right.
It's home.
Something's gonna come up.
Every fucking problem still exists at home.
Exactly. So unless I'm at that theater, I don't full on feel that experience. And I don't know. It's weird because we're all so connected to everything else going on. That I think, to Jesse's point, a lot of people like doing it at home because there's no commitment.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they can turn it off and pause it and start it back up and get on their feed and watch a couple videos on Instagram or something.
Live tweet it while I watch my new movie. Like, I feel like that's like a new thing.
Yeah.
People always have the reaction videos and stuff. Like,
yeah,
they're going to be wanting Chris to review it as he watches it.
Right.
Yeah.
Which you can start a Twitch.
Live
Watch the movie and
live
reviews and live reactions.
If it wasn't for copyright, I'd probably do it. As long as like I can watch it and I don't have to put it on the screen.
Yeah, you've the screen video on you while you're watching it and
Yeah.
live reactions and like reviewing of it or whatever.
Yeah.
Which brings me to a question. I was actually going to text you this.
I didn't even answer the first question.
Oh, you didn't. But
Which brings me to a question.
but before I forget, and then we'll go back. I'm glad I didn't message it because it's content for the show. When you do your reviews, do you take notes?
Yes.
Okay, cool. I was going to say, I'm like, because these reviews are so in depth.
Thank you.
I'm like, you could have an extremely good
Photographic memory.
But I'm like, there's no way this dude can remember all of these details. I'm like, he's got to be. Do you do it like on a notepad or your phone? Or?
Yeah, well, I bring a notepad to the theater.
That's cool.
Whenever it's the first time. So I obviously didn't have it when we went because I've seen Freaky already. I already wrote that review. I'm done with it. So like if I go to a new movie or something, you'll see me like sometimes I do use my phone. It's just better in terms of seeing and all that as opposed to writing in the dark. But yeah, I have a notebook at home of like pretty much every movie since 2011 when I started, and there's just notes on there, random scribbles.
Dude, that's incredible.
So are your notes like, because you have like your broad topic and then you break it down from there. So do you just broad topic it real quick? Or is it like broad topic and then it's like, make sure you touch on this.
So let's use like 1917 as a example.
That's
here.
Weird because I was fucking thinking about that movie and that's fucking weird.
So let's use 1917 as an example. So the first thing I noticed about 1917 is it's one continuous shot. That's the first thing that captured my attention right off the bat. Even throughout hearing all the production and everything, that is immediately what you are brought into.
Yeah.
Like this is making me feel uncomfortable because it's not cutting away from the mayhem.
Right.
So now I have to convey why is that uncomfortability there.
Yeah.
Like I have to put myself in the movie, you know, and convey that information.
Yeah.
It's not always easy. There's some reviews that I struggle with. There's some that I crank out in an hour and get it done and put it up there. But
I always wonder that. I'm always like, which is cool. So when you go to a movie you're going to review, do you typically intentionally only go by yourself, or do you ever see reviewed movies with somebody else?
It used to be, and this is not the case anymore. It used to be friends would claim movies with me because they wanted to see it with me.
Yeah.
I don't want to go into a lot of this area, but
yeah,
but like that's changed over time.
Yeah.
But yeah, it used to be like I would go with some people. Now I would say about 95% of my movies I'm alone.
I feel like if you're going to review it, like that's one where it's probably easier to go by yourself because it's like, you know, you're going to be involved in the review process. Like you're taking it in for that rather than like going to the movies with friends.
Yeah.
So I could see if it's like a first time experience and you're going solely for the reason of reviewing it, it would just be easier to go by yourself than having people with you and stuff like that. But I was curious about that.
And for me, I'm never judgmental when it comes to other people liking something that I didn't. That's not how I work.
Yeah.
But like, there's always that feeling I can't escape from. So like if somebody goes like, man, I loved it. I thought it was one of the greatest movies of the year and I hated it or something like that. I go like, you know, I respond and I'm like, that's awesome, dude. Yeah. I'm happy that it worked and all that, but you can't escape being the asshole.
That was Fences for me.
The first time that I met Chris was at the mini golf tournament and I knew he was like
wrong.
No, that's true. The first time we like really got to interact, though, I should say.
It was good for me too.
Because we went to a movie the first time. What movie did we see?
We saw Dunkirk.
Dunkirk, yeah.
And then we saw Blade Runner.
Okay. So yeah, but those were like movies and we were in and out.
Yeah.
We go to the mini golf thing and I don't even remember how it came up, but we were talking about Once Upon a Time in Hollywood and you loved it.
Yes.
And I was disappointed. And you know me, I'm ready to argue and I don't know this guy. So I'm like ready to go. And he's just oh yeah, I totally understand that. And I'm like,
he's like, this fucking
guy. Fuck you. Like,
I'm not that guy. I'm not the guy. So like, I'll tell you why I like or hate a movie, but I'm never going to destroy your point about it.
Yeah. Everyone sees everything differently.
Yeah.
That was Fences for me. So Fences is still to this day my least favorite movie in existence.
Never saw it.
And don't.
It's probably great.
It's awful. It is awful. Denzel should have never taken that role. So I'm in the dude. This is the first time I saw a movie in theater where like I thought I was gonna have an anxiety attack because it was so awful. I wanted to leave and I couldn't.
Damn.
Because I was with my family and I like drove. I was like, I can't get out of here.
Yeah.
Thankfully, I was the aisle seat on the end, so I was just like.
That was the curious case of Benjamin Button for me.
Yeah.
I literally sat there kicking the rails in front of my seat because it was
Dude.
so boring.
I was hanging.
That first time I watched it was boring.
I was on this end, but I was over the edge, like this with my phone below, and I was just like watching Facebook and stuff out of view because it was so awful. But my uncle, who I went with, loved it. Like one of his favorite movies ever. And like the entire time he was here for Christmas, like he talked about it nonstop. And I'm like, this movie's fucking awful. But I didn't want to be that guy.
And now you know how I feel.
And I'm just like, oh yeah, it was good movie, man. Like I'm thanks. So glad we went and saw it. And inside of me, like it was just awful.
There was one today on somebody's, what was it? It was a movie this year. I can't remember what it was though. It was this summer, but they posted on there. They go, this was a really good movie, man. And I was like,
man,
your standards are very low.
Well, and you guys know me, like I'm entertained. I'm very easily amused. Like,
Yeah.
There's not movies I don't like. And man, that movie got a 0.
Fences. That's funny.
What did you rate that?
I did.
What'd you review it?
Not saying it.
No, come on.
Not saying
What
it.
did you get? I can look it up.
Look it up.
No, what did you review it?
I'll look it up.
But so to go back to question one real
Just
quick.
gave it a 10. I'm over here like saying it's the worst.
I did
movie in
not give it a 10.
existence.
I'm gonna bet he gave it a 7.
To go back to your first question.
Yes,
Until Jesse interrupts me.
I got sidetracked.
To me, I kind of agree with Jesse in terms of you might see it go down to like 4 or 5 theaters. I don't think theaters will ever be extinct though.
Really? Yeah.
There's so I think like maybe the cinema.
8.
So I think the Cinemarks will.
Read that.
The Cinemarks will probably survive. You might have a Regal or 2 here and there.
Yeah.
The reason being the main profit for the theaters is that action genre, man.
Yeah.
Whether it be your Marvel movies, your James Bond movies. Now, in the case of Wonder Woman, this is a studio that was forced into putting that pretty much on. They had a wide schedule coming out this coming year.
Yeah.
They can't delay it till summer. If they do, it's going to collide with 3 other Warner Brothers movies.
Right.
So to them, their hand was forced basically. And they said, here's what we'll do. We're going to release it to fans wide for HBO. And if those dedicated fans want to come see it in the theater, well, there you go. We'll gain their $15 there.
What does that do to someone's career? Do you think that has any negative impact on someone's career because Wonder Woman goes direct and doesn't get as much hits or views or whatever? Now, does Gal Gadot get frowned upon as like, oh, that wasn't a success because of the way it came out?
I think she's given a pass considering the times.
Yeah.
So like if she failed, with Wonder Woman in a normal year, like 2019, for instance, and that movie bombed.
Yeah.
Yes,
I feel
it
like
does.
it's almost like I think it's almost like a mark on your career. Like, man, Wonder Woman 1984 only sold or created this much revenue, and it's like
100%.
it's like that's with you permanently as an actress.
It's not fair this year,
I
though. So
agree.
you look at Christopher Nolan's Tenet, like that movie bombed horribly.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't anywhere near what it was supposed to be. That wouldn't happen in a regular.
Do you think that this maintains though? Like, do we realistically believe that going forward it's going to continue this way now that it's already become a thing of like commonality?
Yeah.
Do we think going forward that this happens where it's like a 2-week or it's like released at the same time?
You have to have something that really captures people and brings them in.
Yeah.
Like Wonder Woman is gonna be cool.
Yeah.
Nobody needs to see it though.
But what movie is that? Outside of us who are movie fanatics, what is that movie that like the everyday average movie theater person or average moviegoer is going to be like, I have to see that in theater? What movie is that?
Legitimately,
Yeah.
I don't think that anything coming out soon is going to be it.
Yeah.
I think that the thing that will save it will be, I think either one of 2 things is going to happen. It's going to be Spider-Man, and we're just going to wait until that happens, and that'll be the thing that comes back. Or Marvel, because of all of this, going, fuck, we need to get something that puts this on track, because Black Widow ain't going to do it. That's going to
No.
bomb also.
Yeah. It looks good.
I think they're going to go, all right, how can we get Fantastic Four or X-Men or something where people wanted them to have the power of it, and now it comes in. Like, one of those things is going to have to be the driving force that gets people back into theaters for a blockbuster feeling, and that will normalize the movie cycle for the casual viewer.
I think it almost has to, so it has to test their creativity too, the producers and the directors. So like presentational aspects have to become key in all of these movies from now on. There has to be something that you can see in a theater that you can't see on that screen right there.
Yeah, absolutely.
So like, you know, it's going to drive their creativity to say like, we have to give them a presentation that stretches the screen that like will look ridiculous on that thing.
Yeah.
Avatar 2.
Yeah.
It's coming.
And you know, honestly, here's the thing. I've never seen the first Avatar.
So, man.
People give me so much shit. I have not seen it.
You have to see it just for the cinema,
it's a
like
good
just for
movie.
the cinema of it.
Right. It's one of the highest grossing movies of all time, and I've never seen it.
It's crazy.
Number 2, I think. Might be number 3.
Yeah.
I think Infinity War
It was
and
one.
Endgame took 1 and 2 now.
Yes.
Because it was 1.
For a
Titanic
long
was
time.
2. And then that surpassed. I think Toy Story might have surpassed it too. Like Toy Story 4 might have.
Really?
I think. Don't quote me on it.
Wow.
Yeah.
I know Titanic and Avatar were 1, 2 before Endgame and all that.
Avatar beat Dark Knight. Or did it beat Titanic?
It beat Titanic. Titanic was number 1 for
Yeah.
decades.
Okay.
And then Avatar beat it, and then that got surpassed by Endgame.
Okay.
Do we think because of revenue is going to change for movies at this point? Because
Sure.
if we're going direct, if we're going on demand right off the rip, or less theater stuff, Jesse's like cringing. Are you screwed? Is your fantasy football getting fucked?
No, I'm doing good, and Mike Evans just got tackled on the fucking tube.
Just,
Get in there.
That's
Get your second touchdown.
we'll get to locker room.
Garbage time minutes.
Jesse can't focus. But okay, so this is obviously going to hurt revenue for movies. Do we think that impacts the way movies are made, or the amount of money that's invested in movies because they're because they have concern
If
of
they don't start to
recuperating?
recoup them.
Oh, yeah.
So like from production studios, do you think we see less quality movies, or like how does that affect a big name movie that costs a ton of money to make? So do we get like it's worse movies now?
The problem is it's like a bank giving out, credit. If you're giving out to this guy because he's flipping houses, and every single time you're giving him $1 million because you
Right.
know he's going to turn a $3 million investment on it. And then all of a sudden you've now given him out $15 million for 15 different houses, and it's all being put on stop. And the ones that we did release and flip are not being sold.
Yeah.
You can't give out any more
So
money.
what does that
man.
mean for us though? What does that mean for movies?
And I had this conversation with you during Freaky, where I said, so what's smart about Blumhouse is they only spend $5 million on every one of their pictures, which sounds like a lot to the casual fan. It's not, it's peanuts.
Yeah.
So they spend $5 million and they turn a $20 million profit.
You also got to think that they were probably fortunate enough though that Vince Vaughn was willing to take on that role, because there was no big name people in that movie.
Yeah. But I
And
think
like-
that's where indie cred comes in too.
Yeah.
Like, so a lot of actors, after they've done a big spectacle, like Jeremy Renner's a good example.
Yeah.
He's in the Avengers, and then he did Wind River, which
Right.
a fucking phenomenal movie.
Yeah.
I have it, and you both should borrow it.
yeah.
But yeah, so like that movie was made for less than $10 million, but he did
Yeah.
that just to show that he's versatile as an actor.
Yeah.
It comes to the art and the creativity of the director, of the production. Everybody's got to step it up.
And that's one thing that I think could be a benefit of this, because you look at some things, and horror's the easiest one to go with the example that you've talked about, but like Blair Witch was shot for like what, $36,000 or something.
It's
But-
ridiculous.
We could have done it.
But you can though. You're
Paranormal
not-
Activity was done for like $300,000, and both of those turned like hundreds of millions of dollars.
But you're not doing that for an Endgame or an Infinity War. You can't make
No.
that type of movie on that budget.
But
like
you can
Freaky,
get
like there was nothing crazy about it. We could have made that movie. There was no crazy effects. Like I could see that being made on a $5 million budget.
$5
because
million, yeah.
There wasn't special effects. It was a straightforward movie.
but those
The
were
biggest
both
effects was the killing
spectacles.
stuff, probably.
Those were both movies though that kind of changed cinema. Those were movies that everybody had to see. Like
Yeah.
Endgame was also, but that was a 10-year thing.
Yeah,
We don't
yeah.
get a lot of single movies anymore, like Sixth Sense, where people are like, you have to see it. Like, you've got to go and check this out.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know the last time we had a movie like that, honestly. It was probably something stupid like Sharknado or fucking Project X.
Never saw any of
But like,
those.
there's not a lot. Like, I think Paranormal Activity might have been the last one that I remember being a single movie that just came out where everybody was like, holy shit, this looks incredible. We've
Word of
got to
mouth.
check it out. Word of mouth movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now it's all blockbuster, blockbuster, blockbuster.
Yeah.
You
Get
need
that.
more of that so that people kind of believe in film again. and want to go and see it.
I think that first year after we finally defeat this thing, you know, this adversary that's been plaguing us for a year now, I think once we finally defeat this thing, I think that first year is really going to be the most important year in cinema history, because it's then that we're going to see, like, so now that people have this gate open, now you're free to go out there and roam safely however you want. Do you still leave the couch, or, you know, do you go like, I have not been to a theater in almost 2 years, I need to get out there?
I think the average everyday moviegoer becomes so content with the current situation that they're okay with watching them at home.
I think so, yeah.
I think for a lot of things, it's going to be that way. I think we're a people of habit. And I think that the everyday average person is going to be so perfectly content with their way of life now as it is, that they won't feel a need to change it. They're going to be perfectly fine with maintaining ordering their groceries online and having them delivered, or ordering ahead and just picking them up, and shopping online and seeing their movies online. Like digitally, the digital aspect that all of these businesses have adapted to now and like made available that they previously didn't have available, they're going to continue to offer that. And I think people are going to continue to consume that way. Like now you can do anything online. Like you could shop online before, but now literally everything and anything is deliverable. There are so many companies that have started or blew up. Like Target has one. I can't remember what it's called, but like Target, you could always shop online and they would deliver it to you.
Sure.
But now they have a program where like someone goes to the store and shops for you and delivers it to you.
Yeah.
Like through Target's app.
Brings it to your door.
They literally bring it to you, not like it's a personal shopper. You know, it's not like waiting 3 or 4 days to ship. Like you pick a delivery window, you go on the app, say, I want it delivered, pick your delivery window, and they bring it. I saw someone the other day, they had an outfit on or like a shirt for it. And they were like for the delivery company, and they had a cart and they had a list, and they're literally going around shopping. They hop in their car and they bring it to you.
That's like Instacart.
Yeah. DoorDash has, you can now do convenience stores and stuff on DoorDash. I can buy stuff from Walgreens. CVS. Like
I saw that.
That's going to become the norm. We're lazy, man. We're lazy people. I won't do it. I don't do that.
I won't either. Well, and I'll tell you what's the big no-no for me. I will never order clothes online.
No,
I don't do clothes, and I don't do any like fresh food. I will not have somebody shopping for my steaks or chicken breast or for fruits and vegetables.
Because you want to see it. You want to like check it out.
Check it out.
Yeah, I agree. But like majority of people, I think, are going to continue to be content with that. I think it changes business structures across the board, not just movie theaters or anything like that, for a long time coming. Like it's going to change the way of life for us.
If it's like the numbers you think it's going to be, for sure, there's no way around that. I mean, everything would have to change under those numbers.
Yeah.
That's sad.
Yeah.
Don't kill the theaters.
I know, man. I think I agree with you guys. Like to Jesse's point, I don't think it's going to ever permanently go away, but it'll become more condensed. Like if you're going to a theater, you're forced to go to Tinseltown because that's one of the remaining ones, or go to Cinemark in the Falls or something. Like we're going to have less available. It's going to be less, it's going to become less saturated. And I think that's across the board and other things as well. Like McDonald's and Starbucks and stuff like that. Even them, they've started to condense, because forever, like there's a McDonald's every 5 miles, you know, they're everywhere, and they'll start to, I think, slow stores. And if you want to go, you're going to have to drive the extra 3-4 miles to go to one, because it's the overhead and expense is just so high to maintain.
Ironically enough, the only McDonald's and the only Walgreens I've ever seen shut down are within a block of each other in Chapel Hill.
Yeah, well, Chapel Hill's a whole other mess in itself.
Yeah, I mean, good God.
The world, the retail world and stuff is evolving and different. I've said for a long time,
malls will be dead in 10 years completely.
Not even COVID related, but just shopping in general because of online, that stores need to become more of like a showroom. Because for the people like us that like won't shop online, we want to touch and feel.
Like 40-Year-Old Virgin, where you go in and you order, like what does he do? It's like you can't buy it there.
Yeah, the eBay store.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. He's like, well, what's the point of this store?
Right. But I truly believe that should become like, stores should have a smaller footprint.
Yeah.
So like the stuff is there to display, and maybe they keep a small inventory, but you can go and touch and feel and try out, and then they send it to you.
Wow, that's so weird.
But you got to think less. You don't have to have all the storage space.
Yeah.
You don't have to have such a big footprint.
Man,
like we still want to have that showcase and stuff, but it doesn't need to be this giant conglomerate that we have. Because nowadays everyone's trying to survive. So every store offers the same thing.
Well, and I think too, like
Best Buy, you can buy appliances at. Now they've got a toy section. Like Target is evolved, and Walmart. where they all are literally offering the exact same thing now. There's nothing that distinguishes them between one or another.
That's true.
The future is in shipping more so than actually coming up with a new product idea. Whoever's going to be able to do, like you're saying, if I go and showcase something and I go, instead of walking out with an iPhone, it'll be, okay, I want this one. Your delivery service can get it to me within 6 hours instead of 2-day shipping.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm going to be. I'll go, I'll check it out. Hey, it'll be there tonight. Cool.
Yeah. Everyone's going to kind of have to take on the Amazon model where it's a big warehouse. Best Buy has a big warehouse in so many states, and that's the distribution center for these 4 states. And they order it, and that day they package everything up and ship it out. And that's going to become the thing where they're going to invest in that over the overhead. And even that's still going to probably be cheaper than having 40 stores with 100 staff each and this giant building they have to pay for.
Yeah.
I could easily see within 10 years, like we have these giant Amazon factories and stuff now. I could easily see something where it's either you can go in and it's almost like a vending machine type of situation where they're running on a skeleton crew who I go in, I boop, boop, boop. You know, they've got the most popular items. I need headphones. Boom, they're there and I have them. Or they have a fast track shipping where if it's not in-house, it's the 6-hour shipping to your door. And it's just a massive, massive warehouse. And that is what the future is. And you'll just have different niches for that. So you'll have your Target brand and your Walmart brand and your Amazon brand, but they will be huge warehouses instead of brick and mortar plazas of multiple stores.
The carnage of convenience.
Yeah. And I could see like companies consolidating, you know, like whoever owns Best Buy or owns Target becoming one store or like Walmart and something, because you've
already seen it in cell phones and in media.
Yeah. I mean, cable does it. Movie theaters have done it. Cell phones do it. When you're offering all the same product, what's to distinguish you from the difference? You know, it's convenience, who has it in stock, but if they're all going to the similar platform,
it'll be Walmart buys up Target and then,
you
know, Amazon's buying up Best Buy or something.
Fucking Walmart.
It's so strange too that like bad things shape our universe like that more than anything else, like, and more than anything good, you know, like bad, like this is all because of, you know, this bad fucking thing that plagued our nation.
Right now it is, but I think this is a long time coming. I think that technology is the bad guy in the overall aspect.
The evolution of technology.
The evolution of technology becoming so convenient, and our wanting of immediate, like we want stuff right now. Everything, whether it's our media or our news or our new video games, we want it right now, right here. We don't have the patience to wait. And technology has allotted us that. And because of that, that's evolving so quickly. That need for like the physicality we don't need now. Video games you can just download right on your system. You don't have to go out and buy the game. You don't need the physical copy. It's been taking away jobs. It takes away the actual companies. Like technology we need, but man, it is like,
that's one thing that I've always wondered about.
Kill stuff.
Because like you get to the point where technology is eventually going to overtake what we're capable of producing ourselves. You're going to have a robot that can build an entire car without a man in a factory. You're going to get a robot that, I mean, you go to McDonald's, they already have the thing that does all of the drink for you. You just put the lid on and hand it to them. They're going to come up with something that puts the lid on there and hands it out the door.
Well, they got the, you know, the push ones now and certain ones. Yeah.
They're going to come up with a robot that teaches the class better than I can do, because in that one robot, I can do a video call and I can teach it English, math, and it doesn't need a degree and I don't have to pay anything. I'll pay $1 million, but that's going to do my entire district. So eventually we're going to get to that point. What then happens to people when you no longer need work? So you don't have income, because in their minds, you would think that would be utopia. Everybody's free to do whatever you want, but it's not going to be.
Like Wall-E.
It's going to be somebody it's going to be the Jeff Bezos who creates all of these things. Like, I don't know what that looks like. But if I literally, if I literally don't need a car because I have robots that can come and take it, if I don't need to shop because I have something that can drone it to me, if I don't need to purchase anything because I don't work, because there is no work to be had, what does that society look like in, and I don't think it'll be our lifetime, maybe when we're older, but like my kid, when he's 50, what is life going to be?
Ready Player One. We're going to be living in a fake world. I mean, you got to think, they say that because the way now that technology is so advanced, it advances that much quicker.
Right.
So they said something like, this was like 2 years ago. I was taking a class or I was doing something online. I can't remember, but they were talking about the advancement of technology. And they said in the next 7 years, which was like 2 years ago, we will evolve our technology more than we have in the last 100 years.
Oh, yeah.
7 years.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing is like, if you look at from the time that we went to the moon in 1969 to now, we have evolved in our technology more than all of history combined. From the time that you picked up a stick to kill an animal.
Yep.
I mean, it's just insane.
Bro, this computer, think of that computer 20 years ago.
That computer could have
house.
Yeah.
It's as big as this
That
house.
computer could have sent the freaking spaceship to the moon by itself back then.
Yeah. It's insane.
Your phone could have.
Yep. And to your point, like, what does that look like? What is it? You're what, late 20s?
28.
Yeah. And we're our 30s.
Yeah.
Think of our lives in the next 25, 30 years. What does that look like?
Think of your life 10 years ago.
Yep.
I mean, I remember in high school, I had a flip phone. I was excited because instead of just having like stupid Pong on it, it had that circle.
Oh, yeah.
It had that circle brick bounce
Yeah,
thing.
yeah,
I
yeah.
thought that was fun.
Yeah.
I liked it because it had a sleek color and it was flat. Those phones were huge compared to, well, they got really small and now they're getting big again. But like, that was crazy to me. Like, I remember T9 on my phone.
Yes. I remember that came out. It was fantastic.
Because
hit the R.
I didn't have to click. Yeah, I didn't have to, whatever.
Dude, we were so quick at that too.
Oh, I could text faster with T9 than I ever could.
Dude,
today.
I was so quick with that.
But like, I remember paying for minutes. I remember telling people like, "Hey, I'm using my friend's phone, so I need to just tell you really quick. I'm off at Tractors Fest. Like, Mom, you got to come get me.
Call me after 9 when my minutes are free."
Exactly.
Yeah. Dude, my first phone was a Radio Shack Motorola track phone, flip phone.
Oh.
That no screen or anything, that I had to buy minutes on. I'd call in and add minutes to the phone. And like, that was the greatest thing ever.
Remember the keyboards where you'd like open it up and they'd, just fly out the side of it. Good
and that
God.
was 10 years ago.
I know,
I did
man.
a science project in high school about like, it was like a theoretical thing if you could build one thing. And I was like, I want to have a virtual reality game where you have a treadmill underneath you so that when you move, you can do it. Now they have 360-degree treadmills where you can run in any direction and interact with your hands
An
and
audio-biased trackball. What does he call it in Ready Player One? When you're
But
running,
they
running
have
on
those though.
What does he call it? Well, when you're running on an I can't think of the word, but yeah, they have it.
And it's just like,
It's crazy.
it's mind-boggling to think that we have virtual reality that looks real now. It's not all campy, cartoony. Like, it's just as good as the PlayStation. It's just as good as the Xbox.
Yep.
You've got the fucking space shuttle going up and the rockets are falling back to Earth and landing. They're landing.
Well, that's what's funny. And like, to push it back to cinema for a second, you'd watch a futuristic movie in the 80s or 90s and you go like, yeah, right. But then you watch a futuristic movie now and you go like, yeah.
Dude, Back to the Future. The future year was 2015.
Yeah.
2015.
Already passed us.
Yeah.
6 years ago. 5 years ago. 5 years ago. It's scary. If you're in the up and coming generation right now, bro, go to trade school to be like an engineer or something, because someone's got to work on the robots that run the world.
Right. Because you can't be a truck driver anymore.
You won't need it.
They're getting rid of that.
Yep.
Those are, I mean, think about how many it's just crazy. How many thousands of truck drivers are there that are not going to have a job in 5 years because they're going to have an electric, automatic driving, artificial intelligence thing out there doing it. All the Uber drivers, taxi drivers, and personal drivers. We will not buy cars in 10 years. The whole classic, like, oh man, I'm a car person. Like, Shy is not going to be, she's going to be old school because she has vehicles. Because most people are going to pull over on their phone and it's going to be super cheap.
Yep.
They're going to dumb it down because they're going to make billions off of every single person paying $5 to go to work every day or $1.
I don't want to live in a world with not a vehicle though.
Yeah.
I don't want to live in a world where I can't just hop in my car just to go drive around because I just want to drive around.
But I see his theory though. I mean, like you said,
I
it's
get
to
it.
credit to your argument too.
Yeah.
Like we are, what did you say? Comfortability, like, and all that. It is what it is.
I think you will have thousands of solar cars that will never turn off, that will just constantly drive around. And when you need it, it will always be available. You won't have to wait. I mean, think about all the cars out on your street right now. They'll just boop on, take me home.
It's weird, man.
That's where we're heading.
Weird world. It's a weird world we're going to be living in, man.
Let me wrap it up with this and then we'll go to sports.
Wrap it up.
This, for my money, and I've heard every episode of Made to Motivate except for one. This is the best Hollywood report that I have ever heard,
Yeah.
bar none. In
What
my
episode have you not heard, asshole?
episode 2.
This guy.
Yep.
That's my first episode.
Yeah, and I've never heard it.
Yeah.
Like I've
know, like,
always
Why did you skip from 1 to 3?
well because
He doesn't give a shit about guns.
you guys used to say for the longest time the thing you regret was episode 1, so I had to go back and listen to that one.
Yeah.
And when I listen to it, I go, yeah, I kind of see what they're talking about here. It's the only episode that I would negate. Sorry, I know, and it's your baby. I know you want to redo that episode. That's the truth, though. But this is the best Hollywood Report segment we've ever had.
I like it.
This conversation, I want to thank you two. This is why I kind of stepped back a little bit. You guys talking about this and future devices and everything. This was a great conversation.
Thanks. I think it's because of our little cliffhanger with Shy.
Yeah.
We split it up and it regenerized us? Is that a word? I don't know.
It is.
Re-energized us.
Now let's fuck up sports.
But no, hold on. I finally watched Mandalorian. All of them.
Oh,
I watched them
nice.
all in one day. Have you
Yeah.
guys watched it?
Yeah, I'm through 4.
Dude, I liked it.
Mhm.
What's the guy that plays that uses Boba Fett's armor? What's his name in real life? The actor. From episode 1, the first
Yeah.
episode of the season.
I don't know his name.
I like him though. Anyways, I like him for the role. I like him being in the show.
Yeah.
He's in what's the zombie movie on Netflix with Drew Barrymore?
She's like a mom or whatever.
Yeah, she turns into a zombie.
Yeah, I don't
the
remember.
fuck?
It's something diet.
Santa
Oh,
Clarita.
Santa Clarita
He's in
Diet.
that too. And I watched
Timothy Oliphant, by the way.
Yes, that's it. I watched
That's my boy.
The Girl Next Door yesterday
With
for the
Timothy
first time in
Oliphant?
forever, and I was
Yeah.
like, what a weird role for him.
Peterson, get your ass over here. Ain't
Yeah.
seen your black ass in ages.
Bro, I used to fucking love Alicia Cuthbert
Oh,
because of
yeah.
that movie.
My-
man.
Everybody did.
Oh
my buddy Dane is watching
God.
this. We had the biggest crush on her.
Dude, I had a huge crush on her. Anyways, I really like him for the role.
Yeah.
So I finally watched them all. Big fan. But after I was watching it, did you guys see the behind the scenes directors extra show that they had?
I don't ever watch those.
So- I don't normally, but I didn't finish it, but I turned it on briefly. And I've always known I knew that they had extra people involved,
Mhm.
but it was interesting to see, and I don't think any other show really does this, and correct me if I'm wrong, but like there's a different director for each episode.
Yeah.
And I always could kind of tell
Who
like
directed the last one? It was somebody that you wouldn't expect.
the only person that I knew of the people that were directors was Bryce Dallas
Taika
Howard.
Waititi did last year.
Yeah.
yeah.
But-
Somebody did the fourth one that was a big name that I wouldn't have expected.
They did a round table basically,
oh.
and they had all of the directors there, and it was interesting just to kind of see how they all have their own take on each individual episode, and that's why they all kind of feel a little bit different.
Yeah.
But I thought that was an interesting take for them to take on. Like, why? I don't know if it's just a creative outlet for them to have so many different people involved, but I thought it was cool to see how everyone's perspectives were different and like how they got to run away with each episode themselves.
Yeah.
They were talking about the one from last year that has, what's that comedian's name that just had the big SNL issue?
Oh, God damn it.
Bill Burr.
Bill
Bill Burr.
yeah.
So they were talking about the Bill Burr episode from last year and how the one guy that was the director for that, how he's kind of like a little bit different than everyone, and how when Disney watched, they were like, this is kind of weird and
Yeah.
like different, but they all have their own creative ability to run with it how they want and
Yeah.
like be a part of writing it. But yeah, anyways, so I finally watched it. I was behind, and I like the way it's off to a good start.
Baby Yoda's a predator.
Dude, he's a little dick in this one. He's hangry.
You were pissed at that kid, man.
Bro, he's a little dick right
Yeah,
now.
I wasn't cool with the egg thing either.
Yeah. I was like, God damn, bro.
My girl Sasha. Oh, she looks so fucking good.
This guy.
She had that like worm sticking out of her mouth or whatever.
Carl
She-
Weathers.
Yeah.
He directed the last episode.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. I didn't. Is that one of his first directing efforts?
Yeah.
Because I've never.
Meat on this bone, baby. You got a stew.
Yes, arrested.
Dude. Yeah. So really cool show, different concept. I really like Jon Favreau being like, it's such a weird thing for him to have taken this on. Like, I don't know how he got into like directing and like taking on
Everything
this
that
role.
he touches turns to gold,
It's
though.
fantastic, bro.
I got one critique to that.
What?
The Lion King.
But
Oh,
to be fair, he did the Jungle Book before that.
Oh yeah, the Jungle Book's phenomenal.
yeah.
Yeah.
I really like the way that I like where he's evolved to become as far as in cinema world. Like,
Mhm.
Elf, Christmas classic, even though I hate it.
yeah.
Chef, probably the best
Chef's
food movie
fantastic.
ever
Chef is
made.
phenomenal.
Such a good movie.
Fucking created the MCU.
Yeah.
What else did he do that was real big?
He's really
Jungle Book was
evolved,
great,
though.
but there was something else he did that was like just mind blowingly incredible.
It's just not that often that you see someone that goes from the acting role to the behind the scenes and be that successful.
Yeah.
You know, like people try it because like they're overacting and they want to produce or direct or whatever, but not to the extent of his level of success.
And the thing with him, it's not just one genre. It's his projects are like
He
this,
can cover
Yep.
everything,
like all
man.
over the place. Yeah.
I really like him a lot. Like Chef.
Have you guys watched Chef Show?
Yes.
No, you
fantastic.
guys keep saying it's really good, and I'd love to see it because I love the movie.
You got to binge
cool.
it. It's on Netflix. It's fantastic. I think
Yeah.
there's 3 seasons, maybe
Yeah.
4.
They just released a new season.
I already
so-
watched it.
What's he
all.
do? Just go out and try food and shit?
It's
like that?
him and Roy Choi,
Who's who
who is the
taught
guy who
him?
taught him how to cook for Chef.
Oh wow.
It's cool,
and
bro.
He basically, like, they talk a lot of movie stuff too, but they go out and either they cook something themselves or they find like a renowned chef in their field and then they learn from them. But he's like, he could probably, I don't know if he'd be like a sous chef, but he'd be able to go in on like a line cook at a high-end restaurant and probably survive in depending on what he does. But like
Mhm.
he's learned so much from now. And they were just like, well, we had a lot of fun making this movie, so let's just make a show.
It's
And that's
cool,
just all
man.
that they do.
They have
It's
like guest
great.
people on, like Seth Rogen was on one episode, and
Yeah.
like watching the guy that heads it up with him, that's like the main chef. The stuff that they
That's
just put
Roy Choi.
yeah, watching them just like put this stuff together and like the things that they create, it's
Yeah.
just it's visually appealing. The
Yeah.
food looks amazing. You find out about a lot of cool like restaurants and stuff to go out and try.
You learn a lot from it too,
yeah.
which I really appreciate because I
It's
love
an awesome
cooking.
show.
The movie was food porn. That's the kind of movie you wish like the Cinemark Bistro was alive for, you know.
Oh, right?
When they should just bring that back for a week.
we don't have food like that. Like, I feel like we don't like some of these places you see, and I'm like, man, where do I go for something like that?
Mhm.
I've made his
Oh.
grilled cheese.
Yeah,
He's released a lot of the recipes from Chef.
looks so good.
The one that I haven't made that I have to make eventually is that Cubano.
Cuba, yeah.
because- And I don't like pickle. I don't like mustard. So I'm,
I'm
not really
a
like
big Cubano fan.
I'm not either,
Wow.
but I'll make it. I just want to
Bamba
eat the
has a
fucking
good one.
pork, man. I just want to cut off pieces of that pork and be
I
done.
know. Some of the stuff that they've made on there just looks so incredible.
It's lava cake.
It's fucking molten.
I fucking love that movie, dude.
You asshole.
It's so good.
Oliver Platt's the critic. That's great.
Yeah. I thought it was a banner thing. I thought we were going back and forth. I thought it was fun.
This is good. Delicioso.
Oh man. Yeah. So anyhow, I think is that it for all the Hollywood
Yeah.
Report?
There was
Yeah.
one other thing, but I'm cutting it because it's not important.
It is important.
It's not important.
Everything's important.
Nah.
All right.
That conversation was so good. There should be nothing that follows it.
All right. Well, we'll follow it with locker room talk. Let's do it.
Go Cowboys.
Swung down, line to deep left field. It is gone! 45-40, run, William, run! 20, 50. Iguodala to Curry, back to Iguodala, up the layup. Oh, blocked by James. LeBron James with the
This is locker room talk.
Jesse Young, my daughter's bedroom.
Whatever.
Locker room talk. Jesse is back. Me and Chris have tried to carry this off for the last couple weeks, but we're no Jesse Young from Sports Illustrated. So, what do you got for us? What's up and running?
Well,
Look at that coat.
I brought my fantastic 90s throwback leather Browns jacket.
This guy.
It's fantastic and I love it.
Yeah.
Um,
Very retro.
Too bad it's not 7:03 right now.
my brownies are 7-3, baby.
7-3. They're having a good year, man.
I said at the beginning of the year, 11 wins.
Yeah.
If they beat one team out of the Titans, Ravens, or Steelers, they'll hit that mark because there's no way we lose to the Jaguars, Giants, or Jets.
I think the Ravens is your best chance.
Oh, man,
Yeah. They're not having a good year.
dude, I'm so pumped. There are only 3 teams in the NFL right now that have a better record than the Browns.
There's only 3 teams in the NFL.
Steelers,
Oh, because there's so many that are at
Saints.
7-3.
Steelers, Saints, and who's the last one?
What a year.
Uh,
What a
Chiefs.
weird year.
Yeah, Chiefs.
Chiefs.
And they almost
Wow.
lost last night again to the Raiders.
Yeah,
7-3,
there's a
man.
lot of 7-3 teams, but
Yeah.
I mean, next week, no matter what happens, we're going to move up a spot if we beat the Jaguars because
Yeah.
the Titans and the Colts play each other and they're both ahead of us. So one will drop below us no matter what.
Right.
What a,
Unless they tied.
what a weird playoffs this is going to be this year. No Patriots. You know, you're going to have like the Brownies will probably go to the playoffs. Like this is nuts.
Dude, it is really wild.
Yeah. And the way that it's set up this year, there's only one person getting a bye week. So the Steelers are obviously going to get that.
Yeah.
Unless you guys fuck up late and the Chiefs catch you, but I don't see it happening because you got a pretty easy schedule.
Yeah.
Favorable.
But then it's looking like we'll probably face the Titans if everything were to hold how I think it will.
Yeah.
Which I think would be great because I want to see the running game, man. I want the snow game with Chubb and Hunt going up against Henry. I'd like to see the Bills too, because I just really respect the Bills. I think that they're just like us. They know heartbreak and they're from a cold city that doesn't know anything but football, and their fans are loyal and crazy and awesome. Shout out Bills Mafia. But I don't know, man. I feel good.
It's going to be interesting. It's going to be exciting postseason football. That's for sure. It's definitely going to be, I mean, Browns Steelers both having this great of seasons is going to be very interesting postseason, because when's the last time that they both potentially made playoffs?
0-2.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
We had 3 games against each other that year.
Yeah.
We faced in the playoffs and we choked and lost at the end. We had.
So like seeing that rivalry and both those teams being that successful is going to be really cool.
Well, and I think the success of those 2 teams also helps that rivalry, because it's been Ravens Steelers for so long lately.
Yeah.
But as soon as the Browns are good, that's done.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like, and any Steelers fan will tell you that, like, there is no rivalry bigger than that. You've just been stomping us for forever, but like
it's kind of just dissipated because there was no competition between
if the Browns were as good as the Ravens were for the last couple of years, the Ravens would be an afterthought.
Absolutely.
It would be like how we think of the Bengals.
It's OSU Michigan. There's no rivalry there.
There's not, but we're starting to build it back. We've won a couple games here and there over the last year. We tied that one game. It's steadily,
it's exciting
increasing.
to watch. Yeah. It's cool to see when you have a team that is your rival or that you want to have competition with do well.
Yeah.
It just amps that up. So I'm looking forward to it, man. I would love to see a Steelers Browns like playoff again.
And I think the AFC North is shaping up to become one of those really big rivalry.
Dominant, man.
Oh man.
Like the NFC East sucks right now, but they are one of the most prime hate-filled divisions. Like, you ask anybody, hey, who are the Cowboys' biggest rivals? You're going to get a 50-50 on the Eagles, on, the Giants, or not the Giants, the Giants or the Redskins or whatever.
Yeah.
Washington
I don't think it's the
team.
Skins. A lot of people say, but I don't think so.
No, but I hear Skins a lot. You're Eagles, right?
Well, I personally hate the Eagles most. I think our biggest rival is the Giants, though.
See, I would never say Giants. I would say Eagles. But you've got people that hate throughout that division. For the longest time, it's always been the Browns hate the Steelers, number one, because that's always been our rival. You hated the Ravens because they were us.
They're the ghosts of you.
And then you hate Cincinnati because there's little things here and there. Paul Brown became, led them and created them. And then you got the coach down there. We're not Cleveland and blah, blah, blah. But you are shaping up with Burrow, whose leg has been completely destroyed, and he won't be back until probably beginning of season next
What
year.
an awful rookie year, man.
Yeah.
It's so sad.
He has been destroyed. He's getting Tim Couch treatment.
I said that, though, when he went to Cincinnati. I said that's going to be the end of that kid.
Yep.
They will not protect him, and he's going down within 5 years.
I do think that he'll be back. I think they're going to do whatever they can to fix that line this year, because they learned a lesson the hard way. But so you've got Joe Burrow, who probably would have been rookie of the year if he wouldn't have gotten injured. Now he'll probably lose it to Herbert. Lamar Jackson.
Herbert over Tua, you think?
Oh, yeah. Tua hasn't done enough yet. He could turn it on late, but Herbert's been playing out of his mind. But then you got Lamar, who's already won MVP. If he learns how to throw, who knows what could happen. Steelers are still great. I don't know how much longer Ben has.
What?
I've never disrespected him.
You're going to have that playing on a loop on Instagram.
Soundbite.
But
I'm adding that into the locker room talk intro.
But no, and now you've got the Browns emerging as a team that has the best running attack in the entire NFL.
Yeah.
Baker hasn't been blowing up the numbers, but he's been making crazy plays. Every third down, he's been hitting it these last couple of weeks.
Can we see the Baker Mayfield shuffle?
Dude, like when he was just running down?
Dude, I've never seen someone so excited. It was so fantastic.
Well, it's great because you see him, and then you see him like he doesn't know if he's still going, and he's like, he just keeps going.
I was dying.
The funny thing, though, is like the last 3 weeks, their defense has been better than their offense.
Our defense has been they've been turning since the bye week. They found something, man. I don't know what it is, but I don't think they'll maintain that the rest of the way. But man, you can maintain it for now.
Do you think Miles being out hurts him for defensive player of the year or anything, with him going to be out this week and next week?
He's been so dominant. I don't think so, just because it's not like an injury really.
Yeah.
I mean, it hurts him a little bit for sure, but if he comes back and continues what he's been doing, like he's still going to be the guy that's for sure getting it. Cause I think the only person that's ever really in the running for it right now is Aaron Donald, and their team is not doing well.
Yeah.
If the Browns go to the playoffs for the first time in almost 20 years, and he's even tied for the lead in sacks or behind by one,
Yeah.
he's a huge part of why they're there.
Yeah.
He's going to get Defensive Player of the Year.
What do you give?
As one Texas boy, I wish we would have held on to.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
What do we give credit? What do you give credit to the Browns this year over past years for them to do so well? Talent hasn't changed. Do you give it to Stefanski?
A little bit.
Is there like, I mean, this is a big year for them.
I think. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
You're the fan.
There's two things. Both are coaches. One is Stefanski and one is our offensive line coach.
Yeah.
They came in and they said that, I can't remember the name right now. It's totally escaping me, but they came in and said, this is the best offensive line coach in the NFL, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I've heard that before. They said Hugh Jackson was the next up and coming great coach.
Right.
So I didn't know what to expect, but he has turned Wyatt Teller into a star overnight. You've got two running backs who are potentially going to be 1,000-yard rushers for the first time in like 8 years in the NFL. First time for us since Ernest Biner and Kevin Mack, which goes all the way back to the 80s.
Yeah.
You have to attribute it to coaching. There's nothing else that it is, because Baker looks like a new man. He looks like he doesn't look rookie year good.
Yeah.
But they're also not asking him to be.
Yeah.
And he's making plays when he needs to.
Right.
I can't debate that. Those are two tremendous points, but I'm going to add one thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Consistency. And I'm going to elaborate on that. So like with the Browns, you can learn that like if they have one bad season, they're going to tear down house and fucking rebuild, and everything's going to be different the next year. You're talking the same core group from last year. This is what happens when you keep a group together and you go, look, we're going to stick it out, better or worse, doesn't matter. And it's the same core group over and over again. You can say what you want about Baker Mayfield. He has his doubters for sure. But the fact is he's learned in the system now. And for a guy who's had 3 different head coaches since he's
3 or 4. Yeah.
4. Okay. He shouldn't even know his name at this point. Okay. So like
4 in 3 years.
Yeah.
It's awful.
To me, I've always thought that was kind of the Browns' biggest weakness, is they give up on themselves too quick.
Yeah.
Who's the one? Brian Hoyer, I thought deserved a lot longer than they gave him credit for.
They fucked Brian Hoyer. And that was the last great start that we had. We were 7-4, and our fucking owner, who I think has finally learned to, keep hands off. He was the one who forced Johnny Manziel into that lineup.
It was a PR stunt.
And it was stupid as hell.
Yeah.
And he totally fucked us. We lost 5 straight and we finished 7-9.
Yeah, that was Hoyer's year. Whatever happened, that was his year to lose.
Yep.
So like that's kind of the thing I see too, is you have the general core is out there. I feel like the line is maturing a lot, and that's the key. It's, the coaches are great. That offensive line guy, and whose name escapes me too, is phenomenal. But yeah, they're believing in the Stefanski system, and another year of this, who knows where they'll be.
Yeah.
Right.
That's one thing I've always said has been the Cleveland curse, is the consistency or the willingness to let go so quickly. You're
Bob Wiley is the name of the.
Yes.
Wait, no, it's not. That was the old guy.
Oh yeah, that's the big fat guy.
That's the big fat guy.
You're as a coach, the decision to come to Cleveland when given the opportunity has got to be such a hard choice, because if you have that one rough season, there's a 90% chance you're probably leaving.
Yeah.
It's like almost taking on a 1-year contract, because we don't have any patience. And I think, to your point, the consistency, we're starting to adjust. We're becoming comfortable with each other as players. It takes time to learn the way each other work, to become comfortable on and off the field, to build that chemistry.
Yeah.
It's a lot more than just getting on the field and knowing a play. Like, you have to be able to read that person and have like a respect and confidence that they're going to be able to complete the actions that are required of them and stuff. So for Stefanski, I mean, we have to give credit to him.
For sure.
I mean, obviously something changed this year.
Yeah.
The players didn't. So something else behind the scenes has happened to allot them the ability to be so successful this year. So, I mean, it is as much shit as I talk. It's more so just give Jesse crap. I mean, it is exciting to see the Browns doing well. It is cool to see that team coming together with the amount of talent that they have. To have not been successful until now was like really disheartening. Like, they have the ability to be a really big deal if they can continue this momentum and become more comfortable with each other and really just merge that dynamic. Like, they're going to be good for the next several years. So
and I think when you have a passionate, volatile sometimes fan base like the Cleveland Browns fans are,
yes,
they part of that, you could be kicked out of town fast is the fact that they expect results now.
Yeah.
They've been through a lot of heartbreak.
Yep.
They don't want any more. Win now.
And that's the thing that I cannot stand right now is Cleveland fans don't know how to handle this. They don't know how to deal with a successful team because there's still people. I got in an argument with somebody today who they said, we need to cut Greedy Williams or trade him because he can't get on the field. And he's got a serious injury. He hasn't played this year, but the dude is 23 years old.
He's got time.
And he was a top pick. He's not going anywhere.
Right.
One, he's injured, so you're not going to get anything for him. You're going to end up giving him off for pennies, and then he's going to go and produce for somebody else.
Right.
You let him sit. And they're like, well, we can cut him then if we can't get anything else. I'm like, why? You're going to pay him guaranteed money to sit on a couch. Are you fucking stupid?
Those are guys who have never went to work with a serious injury.
There's still plenty of people who are calling for Baker's head, who are saying, well, he's not putting up numbers. How do you go 3 games in a row without throwing a touchdown? It's like 2 of those weeks were 50-mile-an-hour wins, you dumb fuck.
Yeah, I'm 50-50 with him right now because to me, like, there's so like the wide open pass from this week, like in the end zone,
was awful.
Totally overthrew that. So I see passes like that and I go like, man, like how do you combine that? And, then you got this play where he, escapes 3 tackles and, runs an extra 10 yards. I'm like, it's the same guy. I don't understand that.
Yeah. And I think that Baker does have the leadership capabilities that we haven't seen with anybody else. He likes his players. The players like him. That's where you get that little
the
Baker
charisma.
shuffle. But
Dude,
he knows.
the dude ran 3 yards and he had the biggest fucking giddy.
Yeah.
That dude was grinning so hard. Dude, that smile was so big. I'm like, bro, you ran like 2 yards.
But come on. He is like,
it was so funny.
He's a win first person.
Yeah.
He doesn't, and I could see him doing something where, when Baker's contract comes up, I don't want to see him getting $500 million like Mahomes. I don't think that he should. And that's the way that NFL contracts have typically worked in the past.
The next man up.
You're going to get paid because you need a quarterback and you're not going to let him walk.
Yeah.
I think Baker is due money. I think that Baker is going to get a huge contract, but I also think that I could see Baker becoming a Tom Brady type of, not necessarily talent, but a Tom Brady type of leader where he goes, you know what? I don't need 500 million. Give me 300 million
and just
over 7 years and give me my pieces around me because I want Super Bowls.
Yeah.
Because as soon as they get a taste of those playoffs and Cleveland gets a taste of those playoffs, I mean, God forbid, if we go in there and we fucking upset the Titans or somebody in the first round,
Oh, it's going to be freaking.
it's going to be
chaos.
crazy. You guys will hear me from your homes screaming.
I agree. I think he has that I think he is I think he's got the likability and he's got the characteristic that the team comes first to him. Like, I think he's going to do what he needs to do, make the sacrifices he needs to make in order for the overall success. It's not I'm about Baker. Like, he doesn't, it's not, I don't know the word I'm looking for.
He's
but
selfless.
Like, he's not out here like trying to boast himself and everything. Like, he wants the team to be successful. He takes on responsibility. Like, in the press conferences and stuff, he will take on ownership over them not doing well or something.
Which is a step over Cam Newton already.
Right. So I admire that. I think it's a good quality about him. As far as this year, I mean, he isn't like excelling.
No,
he's
efficient.
Yeah. He's efficient.
He's an above average game manager.
Above average is good.
He's top 20. You wouldn't put him in top 10.
He's not carrying the team, but he's doing his part.
Yeah.
But then you get games like Cincinnati where he goes out and throws 5 touchdowns and you're like, okay, so there's something there.
So weird.
Yeah.
My thing is he's hitting these clutch passes, like the Austin Hooper 3rd down pass, like the Rashard Higgins 3rd and 18 pass last week, where he's capable of putting it on his back, but he understands, hey, Chubb and Hunt are elite players at the position and they're going to get it done for me.
Yeah.
Let's go rush for 200 yards. And if you need me, my 120 are going to get it done for you.
I definitely think Chubb and Hunt, like the run game comes first. Like
100%.
That's especially now that Odell's on the shelf. Like,
and that's Cleveland.
It's I mean, the run game should come first, and they have the best 1-2 punch in all of football. It's, to me, it's what's going to be interesting is you come down to those playoff games, and inexperience certainly will play into his favor or his lack thereof. But for me, it's like you have to win a game like that just to silence the doubters. You have to, in those biggest moments when the lights are shining bright, it has to be about that quarterback.
And we'll know about how those playoffs are going to look in those 3 games. How we play against Tennessee, how we play against Baltimore, and how we play against Pittsburgh. You could lose all 3, but if you're in them and you're close,
you got a chance.
You've got a chance. And that's the beauty of running the game the way that we are. You go in there with Chubb for a half or 3 quarters, just pounding. That wears a defense down. You're trying to tackle a 230-pound man. We saw what he could do with that stiff arm on Sunday. And then you put in Kareem Hunt, who's just as powerful, but quicker. And he's coming in on fresh legs to finish you off.
God, man.
If you get even the slightest lead, you're not losing.
Kareem Hunt is playing for a contract.
Dude,
He's playing.
Well, he's got a 2-year extension.
Oh, does he? Okay.
Yeah, we got him the 2-year extension, but
man, he's possessed.
He's a man from Cleveland. I think he's truly a Cleveland boy who wants Cleveland to be successful.
Yeah, he's playing impressive. Overall, I mean, they look, it's a year unlike they've had in a long time. So it'll be exciting to see where they go. Cowboys had a win. Chris had his doubts, but
it was like hell. I got the temperature. It was negative 32 degrees. It was crazy.
Yeah. I mean, hey, a win is a win.
Yeah.
You did say you were not disappointed, but it does hurt your chances at draft.
That's so
obviously.
So I understand, like, we're still only a half game out of first place, sadly enough.
Yeah.
So I mean, we could go to the playoffs still realistically, but
which is crazy.
Yeah. I mean, we could. There's 6 games left. If we won all 6, we would be 9-7. But I mean, if we won half of those games, we would be 6-10.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, I mean, it's still there, but to me, you have to think realistically. So like, our season's probably done. Like, what's the best we can hope for? We're going to get in the playoffs. We're going to get smoked by any team in the NFC who comes after us. Doesn't matter who it is.
Hey, the Jets are out.
Oh
God, they announced that.
Jaguars will be next week.
Yeah, the Jags are going to get that 2 pick.
It was just funny they announced it. I'm like, yeah, we all know.
The Jets should have beaten the Patriots. They blew that game.
I don't think that they wanted to win it. I mean, they want Trevor Lawrence, and they know the Jaguars are right at their heels.
Yeah. Trevor's going for that senior year, but if he goes to the Jets, but yeah, it was nice to win. It was nice to get a win. It's just, it pushes us further down the pecking order. I think now we've fallen to 9th. The 9th pick.
Yeah.
So like,
well, and the thing that sucks is if you do get that first point, like even on the standings, you probably should be like the 9th pick, but as soon as you make the playoffs, you're all the way up at,
that's true.
20th.
That's true. Yeah. We're at least in the top 14.
Right.
Yeah. Yep.
So you lose out on 9 picks just for the fact that you can say, oh, we made the playoffs and got our asses kicked. It's not worth it to me.
I don't think so either, especially since Dak's not out there playing. To me, and this is why I didn't agree with Dalton starting. To me, you got Garrett Gilbert on the bench, who could be a future 2nd string quarterback for us. Let him go out there for the last 7 games. Let him materialize. See what you got with him. If he sucks, squash him. Get him out of here.
Right.
If he, he showed some promise in the Pittsburgh game, like he looked pretty good.
Yeah. He was familiar with him.
Yeah. Like, get him out there, get him maturing more. That was his first start against Pittsburgh, the best defense in the NFL right now. Like,
best team in the NFL.
Yeah. I mean, it's true.
10-0, baby.
It's true, though. By a record stance, that is true. So, like, I say put him out there every game. If we lose, we lose. So what? We already knew this season was in the crapper.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thing I find funny about the 10-0 Steelers is the amount of people are like, well, they played easy teams. Well, they're playing the same teams everybody else are playing. They're undefeated. Yeah. And when a team comes easy, it's because you're better than them. I mean,
no, you guys have some quality wins. And that was the same thing with the Steelers or with the Browns. Early on, they were like, oh, the Colts, they're not really any contenders. And I'm watching these games like, just keep on beating these teams because that win is looking better and better. Yeah. And even though we lost to the Raiders, they gave the Chiefs everything they could handle. So I was like, well, if it weren't for that weather, I think we beat the Raiders too.
Yeah. Ultimately, at the end of the day, if a win comes easy, it's because you're better. Ultimately, it's because you're better.
And you can only beat the teams that they put in front of you.
Right.
So like that was the thing.
That's just a weird, it's a weird excuse to me. Well, they were easy teams. If you're better, you're better. And that just means that you're a better team.
The NFL is the NFL. Any single team can beat anybody on any given Sunday.
Yes.
I don't care who it is. If you put an 0-16 team out against a 16-0 team and play 10 times, they're going to win too.
It happens. Yeah.
Yeah, like when so I went through it in 2016, Dak and Zeke's rookie year. Dallas won 13 games in a row after they lost their first game of the season.
Yeah,
they were 13-1 at one point, and everybody was going, "Well, yeah, but who did they beat?" Like their biggest win is against, I think, Minnesota that year was like the one everybody was using.
It's just a weird excuse to me. It's like it's an NFL team.
Yeah,
they're a professional football team nonetheless, and this isn't in defense of the Steelers. It's just a weird
excuse that I see people have, like, oh, even if it's like the Browns, well, they won. Well, who cares? What team? Like that team sucks. Like, well, they suck just because they're better than them. Like you're gonna have teams that are better.
The NFL has
That's
one of the
weird,
closest margins of like victory and defeat out of any sport. I think it's less than 10 points. I think it's like 6. It might even be less than that. Is the average over the span of the NFL.
Yeah.
Like most games are close.
Yeah.
Look at the Chiefs. The Chiefs should rout the Raiders. The Raiders are not that good.
The Raiders beat them, yeah.
But they came back. Well, they got him on that last second touchdown to Kelsey, but it came down to a last second drive.
I was saying the first game.
Oh, yeah.
They beat
exactly.
them. Yeah.
And that's the thing is it's like,
it's a professional football player.
Miami sucked forever whenever Tom Brady was with the Patriots. But you know who's got the most victories over Tom Brady?
Yeah.
Miami.
Yep. It's weird, man. Like if you're in the NFL, like there's not a bad player. I mean, you have those weird flubs where like they just don't pan out.
Yeah.
But overall, like you get drafted in the NFL, it's because you are an extremely good athlete. You are a phenomenal athlete. So anybody has any ability to win. Anything could happen on any given day. Like you said, any given Sunday, it's anyone's game. It takes one play or something to like throw a game.
Well, that's the thing people don't realize when you watch these games, you see like linemen or like a backup lineman or something like that. And you're like, man, this fat fuck isn't doing it. But then you go, I've seen videos. Josh McCown, who is like 39, 40 years old, goes out there and I saw a video of him cross a guy over and dunk a basketball.
Yeah, bro.
That fucking bum who is considered an immobile quarterback could juke you out of your fucking shoes at any rec center that you go to.
Yeah. There's no one on an NFL football field that couldn't show any of us up any day of the week, no matter what.
The worst player in the NFL was your star quarterback for your high school state championship.
You just said what I was going to
and
say.
Killing it in college to be drafted somewhere.
So I was going to say every player in the NFL right now was the best player in their high school.
Right. Absolutely.
That's crazy when you think about that. You got a bunch of bests.
Yeah. Like all the people that talk shit, like, I know we all talk shit about players, but like in reality, like, you got to respect the game. Like these guys were the best of the best. Yeah. They got drafted to be a professional football player. Yeah. Like there's no one out there. Who was
the one white guy? He played receiver for us. He went to Glen Oak High School. Cannot think about. Yes, Brian Hartline.
Yes.
Brian Hartline owns every single major football record at Glen Oak High School.
Yeah.
Every single one. And that dude is a subpar wide receiver in the NFL for his career. And then you want to look at guys like fucking Patrick Mahomes, like even Tom Brady, who we consider to be like, oh, he's not athletic. Tom Brady would beat the shit out of you. Yeah. He would beat you in a fight. He would beat you in a race. He would beat you playing basketball.
He might try and kiss me after, but
he'd beat you in a kissing contest.
On the lips.
Yes, he would. No, it's true though, man. It's crazy to think about the level of like athleticism in anybody in basketball, like in the NBA, NFL, MLB, like any of these people, like they are extremely talented and just like athletic people. Like I
remember the first time I went to sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, like, I might not be able to beat LeBron in a game or anything like that, but I scored 13 points on Romeo Travis, so kiss my ass.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Dang.
But like,
you want to come on the show?
I remember the first time. Right, get him on here. I remember the first time, like, you watch those 40-yard dashes and everything, and I'm like, oh man, he ran a 4.6. That's so slow. And I remember used to like thinking like, oh, I'm not like, I could never run a 4.3, but I bet I run a 4.6, or I bet I run like a 4, whatever.
Yeah.
No, dude. I went and did the 40-yard. They had the whole combine up at the Browns.
Yeah.
And I think I ran like a fucking 5.2.
Yeah, bro.
And that was now. So like maybe in my track days, whenever I was like actually in shape and running and stuff, maybe I pulled a 4.8.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Wow.
But like Vince Wilfork, fat fuck, 350 pounds, doesn't even have to move, just go in and eat up 2 blockers, was faster than me at 350 fucking pounds.
And like that 0.5 seconds doesn't seem like a lot, but on the field, that's a lot. It's a big difference, man. When you're running down the line and you're returning a fucking kickoff.
Like a 5-yard difference.
Yep. It really does.
Vince Wilfork.
I know, man. You got to think these dudes are heavy and then whatever, but they're still going through fucking training every day. They're weightlifting, they're conditioning. These dudes are athletic.
Then you've got Derrick Henry, who weighs 250 fucking pounds at 6'4", running a 4.3. If he hits you,
You're
that is
dead.
like a fucking truck hitting you. If he hits you and you don't have your like I watched a guy get hit in the head yesterday. He put his head down and went straight into a guy. If I did that, my neck would snap.
Bro,
Those
you'd be
dudes
dead.
lift their fucking traps with like 300 pounds. Their necks are like my fucking thigh.
Bro. What's his name that got Drew Brees? That dude got hit and broke like every rib in his body.
11 ribs.
Bro.
8 ribs on one side and 3 on the other. And
Can
he
you
kept
imagine?
playing. If I break one rib, I'm done.
You're
Fuck
out.
you guys. Thanksgiving football, you crack my rib?
Bro, that's the athleticism.
I'm going to the
man.
ICU.
When they announced that, I was like, God damn.
Yeah.
And he's out there going, give me a horse shot.
And he'll be back in like 2 weeks.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
And he'll throw for
mind-blowing.
500 fucking yards.
You're damn right he will.
At age 40.
Jeez.
When I'm 40, I'm going to have a beer gut.
Bro.
I'm going to strain my neck looking
Going
for the
to have?
remote.
Look, I don't like Chris Collinsworth. Replace him with Jesse Unk for the player introductions at least.
All right.
Fucking Vince Wilfork, that fat fuck.
Bro,
That's so funny.
Nick Chubb's 5'11".
Yeah, bro.
You know Odell is 5'11"?
Yeah.
He's not that big.
That dude jumps fucking 15 feet in
I
the
know,
air.
man.
Yeah.
He's not a big dude, though.
I mean, that's the thing. Like when you dedicate your whole life to one craft, like that's you're gonna be like that. You're a supernatural human being.
Yeah, dude. The talent is crazy. I don't know. It's exciting. It's an exciting year for football, at least for us, because of our teams. And Chris, whatever.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
me and Jesse are having an exciting. year.
Well, look on the bright side. We've got at least one good game for Thanksgiving this year with the Ravens and the Steelers,
Oh, dude, I'm
because the other
ready.
two are going to be shit.
I'm ready for it. We got to pull off at 11-0. You think we'll get Coach of the Year?
Oh, hell yeah.
I would think so. I've always been a Tomlin fan. I told you that a couple weeks ago. I
People
said
were talking about getting rid of him.
Steelers fans are like, that's the thing, man. When it comes to, they don't know how. So Jesse said Browns fans don't know how to react when they win.
Yeah.
Steelers fans don't know how to react when they lose.
Oh yeah.
So like the year they were like 8-8, like not even a bad year.
Yeah.
And they're like, fucking fire
was like 2
Tomlin,
years
get
ago.
him out of here. I'm like, yeah, send his ass to Dallas and we'll fucking
Dude.
take him in a second.
That's one thing we've always been successful with those coaches. Like we've had a long string of
We've had
coaches.
3 coaches in the last fucking 30
We've
years.
It's your management, dude. I'm telling you.
They have good ownership, good management.
Mhm.
They've had success. So, well, one thing I'm worried about is no lineup for Ben. We haven't lined anything up to replace him. He's going to
Yeah,
be gone
yeah.
here soon.
You've tried to, man.
They're in
Yeah,
trouble.
You guys have gone through so many guys to try and groom for his departure, and
Yeah.
it is just not happening.
It's going to be like the Pats losing Brady.
It's
Like
the craziest-
there's nothing like we just don't.
and it's wild because you
know.
guys are, for whatever reason, the Steelers,
I know where you're going with this.
they can create linebackers
Yeah.
Wide receivers.
and they can create wide receivers.
Yep.
And that's it.
Yeah.
You can't find a quarterback.
I know.
You can't find a defensive back to save your fucking life.
Yep. But we've
You
been
can trade for him, but you can't draft him.
we've been successful with and fortunate with our quarterbacks maintaining a long time
Oh,
and
yeah.
being successful. We haven't been in a position where we have to
Well,
consistently.
you've had Ben for 15 years, so
So-
it's hard to say.
That's what I'm
'cause
saying, but-
Before that, who'd you have? You had fucking
Cordell Stewart.
Tommy Maddox, and that wasn't getting it
Maddox was-
done.
yeah, Maddox
Neil
was-
O'Donnell.
But like
Jesus.
we've been fortunate, like with his success. But now it's like we haven't lined anything up for the future, so we're gonna have.
I am
a rough
honestly,
period.
Yeah.
I'm very surprised that Ben has lasted this long,
Dude.
because those first 10 years of his career
Yep.
got his ass
Yeah.
kicked.
Yeah.
I mean, he was Big Ben because he had to
I was
break out
saying,
of those
he's
sacks.
a big
but
dude.
He was tearing muscles. He was breaking bones. I mean, he got his ass kicked his whole career.
And-
I did not think he would last. And they just now, in the past 4 or 5 years,
Started to protect.
got a really good offensive line for him. And I think that is what truly saved you guys.
And they stopped letting him run because he used to run a lot. That's the
Yeah.
thing people forget about it. Like up until I think it was like 2008, he ran a lot.
yeah.
And it's like you're seeing this big lanky guy running down the field. I'm like, dude, that's a recipe for disaster.
He's a big quarterback, and he's always been able to fend for himself.
Mhm.
You know, and like to Jesse's point, he's had to. But I think that's been part of his success. Now it's just like, what's the Rudolph is not it. I mean, obviously we all know
No,
that. It's
There's
like,
nobody on that
Mason
team.
Hardar Rudolph.
There's nobody on that team like their second or third string that's going to take that job.
nope. So I mean, he's got a couple more seasons. You know, that's it.
You
He's
think
gonna
so?
be- Ben?
I think he's got,
Yeah, it's not.
I think he's got 2 or 3. He
Yeah,
doesn't have
he's-
much more. Because even this year, like, he's very efficient and he's doing very well. But like,
Yeah.
that defense is really doing a
Oh yeah,
lot of work.
absolutely.
I told you if he gets that fairy tale ending though this year, don't be surprised if he's gone.
I I could see it maybe. I don't know. I don't know if
He
he's.
won't.
I don't think he's ready to leave yet.
Well, but if
Yeah.
if ifs and buts were candy and nuts, you know.
I don't
But-
think he's ready to leave, especially after being out all last year. Like, I
Mhm.
don't know if he'll come back for just one season. He very well if they win it, maybe, but I don't know.
I hope you guys go 15-0.
Fucking guy.
I
you guys
want
hate the
it.
team.
I want
You know
it
how
so
awful it would
bad.
be.
My Super Bowl
So,
pick's looking sweet. So
I think we talked about it on here. Maybe I can't remember. Do you think that if we are, do you think once playoffs are solidified, do you think we sit anybody and ride it out, or do we go for the undefeated
If
season?
you
we did talk about this.
if you are completely undefeated,
like
I
say
don't
it's
think so.
14-0, do you think at that point it's like whatever?
they want to say that it's all about a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
There's two things. One, you guys didn't do that in the past.
Yeah.
So I don't think you're going to do it now. I don't think
Yeah.
that that's Tomlin's thing. But two, you used to be Pittsburgh, who was the only team with 6 Super Bowls. You're
Yeah.
not that anymore.
Yeah,
New England caught you.
Yeah.
But to be the only team to ever go undefeated, kind of like a little jab back at the Patriots
Yep.
too, because you
Yeah.
want to
Yep.
finish off what they couldn't do
Yeah.
since they took your title. I think that that's still there.
That's
Yeah.
a damn good point.
I don't know. I still don't think you guys are the best team in the NFL. I think the Chiefs are.
That's what I said when we were talking.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still think the Chiefs have your number. I think you're right there.
Yeah.
I think you're better than anybody in the NFC. I think the NFC is a far worse team
Yeah.
or conference as a whole.
NFC is the East in the NBA.
I think the Bills could beat you just because I don't think it's a good matchup for you.
Yeah.
Hey, just remember, a Toronto comes around once every so often.
Right.
but I think that Pittsburgh should be afraid of the Chiefs.
Yeah.
And
We're not going any less than 14-2. I could see us undefeated,
No,
but we're
I
not
don't
going to
think
go
so
any
I
less
don't
than
know. I don't
14-2.
think so either. I honestly think that you could get 2 losses
Yeah.
off of something dumb where you're in a trap game or they just get
Yeah.
lazy, whatever. And I think that there are only 2 teams you should worry about. And I think it's the Bills and I think it's the Chiefs.
I think the Bills can aggravate Big Ben. I think they
Yeah.
can get to him and aggravate him.
Yep.
And that's the thing. I think it's going to be a low scoring game. I think, it's going to be one of those like 13-10 scores or something like that.
Yeah.
But like, that's the thing. They need a defense to test him.
and Josh Allen, I think, is athletic enough that defense will be he'll be able to do something against them.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And you don't get that very often.
Bills is on my list of concern. Ravens were initially, but not anymore.
Yeah, I'd say the Bills are bigger now.
Mhm. So we'll see. I don't know. We're going to go 14-2 minimum.
Yeah.
I would love to see us go undefeated, obviously, but look, I just want playoffs, which we're going to get.
They got another game against Cincinnati still.
Bro.
Jesus God,
I know
man.
they
and
played
that's
2
going to be
real close.
awful now.
Yeah.
That's going to be bad. That's what I'm saying. Like, do they just sit Ben? Rudolph's awful.
I don't
though.
think if you're
Rudolph is
undefeated.
Rudolph like somehow pulled off some games last year, and I don't know how because he's just awful.
If you lose a game, that's a different scenario.
If they
then
if-
they sit down.
I think once we lose a game, I think at that point, if playoffs are solidified and they've lost, they sit them and let them
Mhm.
rest for playoffs. But if
Mhm.
we're as long as we maintain being undefeated, he'll continue to play.
Yeah, I agree.
I think so too.
At least till the end of the games. Like they've been letting Rudolph in at the end. Like Rudolph, they brought Rudolph in just to kneel. He didn't even do anything. I'm like, what a fucking chump.
He earned his paycheck.
I know, bro. What a
Which,
joke.
like, even the league minimum in the NFL is ridiculous.
Oh, I think it's like 825,000
Yeah.
or something.
Hand me that to sit my ass on the bench.
Unreal, dude. Anything else for locker room?
Nah.
Good football week. I think that's really it for sports.
Yeah. Basketball's been making some moves, but it's whatever.
Nothing super exciting. They're supposed to kick off at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, Tristan Thompson went to
No.
the Celtics. That's the end of an era.
Right
Tristan
before,
Thompson's out.
right before Christmas.
Oh, I
Yeah.
missed that.
His
Yeah.
contract ended, and it was a terrible contract for us because everything was guaranteed, and he's not good enough to trade. So
Is something going on with AD? I saw people posting something about
There's-
Anthony Davis.
So
I didn't read into it.
there's a
He
rumor.
opted out.
Well,
Okay.
so he opted out, but that was what we saw happening
he
because
wanted to
he's
get
going to
paid.
take a bigger contract.
Yeah.
But there is a rumor, and this has not been solidified, but this was something that I believe, I don't think it was Waj, but it was some other,
Yeah.
big analyst who said that this is a possibility. But apparently he is waiting to sign his max contract to see how Giannis Antetokounmpo handles his contract, because if he does a 1-year deal,
Yeah.
AD will then be able to take a 1-year plus player option, and that would allow for them to sign Giannis under the player cap with bird rights for LeBron, AD, and Giannis to pair up in LA.
Oh shit.
Jesus Christ.
Okay.
Oh my God.
I had seen something going around about AD, and I'm like, what's he bitching about? Like, Braun brought him on, and they won a fucking shit.
No, yeah, he's not bitching. He's gonna get
Okay.
paid. I don't think that Giannis thing's going to happen, but Man, if he does, Bron's in 8 rings.
I hate our division.
I know, right?
I really hate being in the Pacific.
Good Lord, man.
College basketball comes back this week too, so
Yeah.
Go Wildcats.
Whatever. Cool. Well,
Go Buckeyes.
fucking Buckeyes, man. All right, y'all. I think that's it for this show. We God, we've been talking for a long time.
I was gonna say,
That's a
yeah.
long one. Going home, going to bed.
Thanks for tuning in. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, hit the bell on YouTube. Please share with your friends. Appreciate everything. We're really trying to bring you a great show, so it helps when you guys participate in the online sharing and such. But otherwise, thanks for tuning in, and we will catch you next week.
Do we not have an outro anymore?